Chapter 682. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully opened the Immortal King treasure chest. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 100 million energy values. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 200 million energy values. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 300 million energy values. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained 5 aptitude points. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained an immortal level wild horse. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully obtained a set of Goddess Nuwa's original underwear. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was speechless, although this Immortal King treasure chest had also opened 1 billion energy values. However, the quality was obviously not as good as the Immortal King blind box that he opened last time. After all, the Immortal King blind box that he opened last time was indeed too awesome. Of course, all in all, this Immortal King treasure chest was not bad, although there were indeed 2 pieces of trash in the back. However, there were still quite a lot of energy values. It even allowed Wang Mang to obtain 5 aptitude points. This was what Wang Mang was most satisfied with. That was because he had accumulated a total of 4 billion energy values. Even after evolving, he would still be left with more than 1 billion energy values. Thinking of this, Wang Mang happily muttered in his heart, "System, begin the evolution." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. 5 billion energy values have been successfully deducted. Beginning the evolution. Ding. Warm reminder to the host. After this evolution, personal information has changed. After that, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness in the midst of his evolution. Half a month later, Wang Mang had just woken up from the evolution. First of all, his strength had naturally increased again. His body had become even stronger. The quality of the vast magic power in his body had become even higher. It had already completely liquefied. If one observed carefully, they would discover that there was a small fountain in Wang Mang's body. However, what was spewing out was not water, but a vast amount of liquefied magic power energy. Of course, as for how strong he had become, he still needed to check his personal information. Moreover, before Wang Mang evolved, the system seemed to have notified him that his personal information had changed. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately said, "System, open my personal information." In the next moment, his personal information. Wang Mang, disciple of a saint, holy son of all demons, type, void python, limit, 700 meters, realm, 8th heaven immortal realm, legendary prodigy, physique, HP 18,000, length 675 meters, width 32 meters, weight 40 million tons. Ordinary supernatural powers, God-controlling seal, hand of the void, blade of the void, void escape, one-step horizon, 1,000 changes. Top supernatural powers, 3 lives supreme Buddha, mastery, Hongjun 3 corpses technique, none, wrath of gods and demons, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgetting water, 1, falling saint pill, 1 6 flavor emperor pill, rank 5 abyss summon card. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, immortal emperor mask, talent, 15. Energy value, 1, 55 billion/3 billion. Note, rank 5 pill formula has been exchanged for 50 million energy value. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang immediately nodded in satisfaction. As for the change in information, Wang Mang also noticed it. In fact, the biggest change was that the energy had disappeared. Wang Mang could understand this, because the energy of a rank 5 powerhouse was completely endless. There was no situation where they were in a bad state. A rank 5 powerhouse could absorb the energy of heaven and earth at any time. To put it bluntly, a rank 5 powerhouse's energy would never be depleted. Therefore, Wang Mang could also understand the change in the system. At this moment, The Black Emperor's voice came from outside the seclusion room. "Master, are you out yet?" Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately stood up and opened the door. Then, Wang Mang saw the Dog Emperor standing at the door with a silly smile. "What's wrong? What happened to Fa Sheng?" Wang Mang asked, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. The Black Emperor hurriedly explained, "Master, the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon's sacred ground sent you an invitation to the Prodigy gathering in Hidden Dragon City. I heard that the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon not only invited you, but also the other Holy Sons and the other prodigies to the gathering in Hidden Dragon City." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately understood. But what puzzled Wang Mang was that he did not know the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon. This guy invited so many Holy Sons. Why did he invite him to Hidden Dragon City? Wang Mang was indeed interested in the prodigy gathering. However, Wang Mang wasn't too firm on his decision to go. At this moment, the system's voice sounded in Wang Mang's mind. Ding! Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Choose to ignore the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon's Prodigy Gathering invitation. Mission time, available upon selection. Mission reward, 100 million energy points. Immortal level blind box X1. Mission 2. Join the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon's Prodigy Gathering invitation. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 200 million energy points. Immortal level blind box X1. Immortal level treasure box X1. Mission 3. Join the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon's Prodigy Gathering invitation and kill no less than 5 prodigies. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 1 billion energy points. Immortal level blind box X1. Immortal level treasure box X1. Mission 4. Join the Holy Son of the Hidden Dragon's Prodigy Gathering invitation and successfully become a prodigy. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 2 billion energy points. Immortal level treasure box X1. Immortal level blind box X1. 10 talent points. After looking at the 4 missions issued by the system, Wang Mang was stunned. The first and second missions could be eliminated. The rewards for these 2 missions were too little. But this also proved that Wang Mang's appearance fee was starting to rise. Yes, this was a good sign. As for the third mission, he had killed 5 peerless geniuses. Wang Mang's mission was definitely not difficult. After all, his current strength had reached the 3rd heaven of the Holy Emperor realm. That was awesome. With such combat strength, he should be able to defeat the Holy Sons of the other sacred grounds, right? Even if he couldn't defeat the Holy Sons of all the sacred grounds, he could completely crush the candidates. Therefore, the mission that Wang Mang was more tempted by this time was actually the 4th mission, because the reward for the 4th mission was too generous. After completing the mission, he could break through another small realm. More importantly, becoming a prodigy was too tempting for Wang Mang. A prodigy was definitely more powerful than a prodigy. There was no doubt about that. Moreover, after he became a prodigy, the system would also give him an additional 10 talent points. This was simply a naked temptation. Therefore, it was hard for Wang Mang not to be tempted. Moreover, once he became a prodigy, even if he couldn't cross 4 small realms, he could probably cross 3 small realms, right? Thinking of this, Wang Mang made a decision in his heart. A man wouldn't be rich without a windfall, and a horse wouldn't be fat without grass at night. Killing and arson was golden, and wealth was found in danger. F***CK, I'll do it. Anyway, it wasn't his first time doing it. Wasn't it just killing 15 prodigies? Anyway, he had already killed 6 last time. This time, prodigies gathered at Wulong City's gathering. The number of prodigies was definitely not small. It wouldn't be too much for him to kill 15 prodigies, right? Chapter 683. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said happily in his heart, "System, I choose the 4th mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. "Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. On the other hand, when the Onyx Emperor saw Wang Mang smiling foolishly, he couldn't help but ask, "Master, what are you thinking about? You're smiling so wickedly." After coming back to his senses, Wang Mang glared at the Onyx Emperor and said in annoyance, "You stupid dog, what do you know?" The Onyx Emperor curled his lips in dissatisfaction. When did he become a stupid dog? He was the Emperor of Dogs, okay? But when he thought of Wang Mang's strength, the Onyx Emperor asked honestly, "Master, Wulong City's Holy Sun has invited you to the Prodigy Gathering. Are you going?" "I'm going. Why wouldn't I go?" Wang Mang chuckled. As he spoke, Wang Mang walked out of the seclusion area. The Onyx Emperor, who was following behind Wang Mang, seemed to have thought of something and said sourly, "Master, what kind of dog is Enlon? I heard that he has already become a legendary prodigy. It's when you sent Enlon and my master, No Beginning, out last time." Wang Mang was a little surprised. Enlon had actually become a legendary prodigy? This made Wang Mang somewhat surprised. But when he thought about how Enlon was already a legendary prodigy, it wasn't strange for him to break through to the legendary prodigy level. Thinking of this, Wang Mang felt relieved. When he arrived at the palace hall, Wang Mang saw Enlon and Without Beginning, who were currently playing chess. Only after seeing Wang Mang did the two of them stop. They stood up and clasped their hands towards Wang Mang. "Greetings, my lord." Wang Mang nodded slightly. Last time, he sent the two of them out to spread the news about the cave of 10,000 demons. In the end, the incident at the Myriad Demons Cave happened before they could spread the word. Although there were some twists and turns along the way, fortunately, he still became the Holy Sun in the end. "Which one of you wants to follow me to the Hidden Dragon's sacred ground?" Hearing this, Enlon immediately stood with his hands behind his back and said confidently, "Master, with me, Enlon, here, I will ensure your safety." Looking at the pretentious Enlon, Wang Mang was speechless. He didn't want to bring this guy along anymore. In comparison, Wang Mang preferred Emperor Wushi. At the very least, Emperor No Beginning would not brag in front of him. However, it was indeed inappropriate for Emperor Wushi to follow Wang Mang, because Enlan's strength had already reached the fifth heaven of the immortal Emperor realm. Including the support of a peerless genius, he was at least a late-stage immortal Emperor follower. After a moment of silence, Emperor No Beginning raised his head and said, "You're right. My lord, No Beginning wants to go and gain experience. Please grant my wish. This kind of mediocre and boring life is not the life that Endless Beginning wants." After hearing No Beginning's words, Wang Mang was stunned. He raised his head and saw the desolate look on No Beginning's face. Wang Mang came to a realization. It seemed that after seeing Enlon become a peerless genius, No Beginning's heart was filled with resentment. His heart, which was already unwilling to be ordinary, became even more restless. After a moment of consideration, Wang Mang smiled and nodded, "All right." This was because Emperor No Beginning's strength was no longer of any help to him. Compared to Enlon, his strength was not just a bit weaker. It could be said that he was much weaker. After receiving Wang Mang's promise, No Beginning smiled and cupped his fist respectfully before taking his leave. If nothing unexpected happened, he would leave the All Demons' sacred ground after Wang Mang set off. Most likely, he would only come back after he had achieved something in his studies or had achieved something significant. Looks like Wushi was shocked by my aptitude. What a pity. No matter how hard he tries, I, Enlon, will crush him beneath my feet. Enlon could not help but sigh as he watched No Beginning leave. Wang Mang was even more speechless as he looked at Enlon, who did not forget to brag. He immediately said, "Let's get ready. We'll go to Wulong City and meet these so-called geniuses." Enlon immediately nodded. After some preparations, they left the All Demons' sacred ground together. Coincidentally, just as Wang Mang and Enlon left the All Demons' sacred ground, they bumped into Zhang Tianyu and the White Bone Lord. Similarly, Zhang Tianyu and the White Bone Lord also saw Wang Mang and Enlon. After seeing Wang Mang, the White Bone Lord's face became extremely gloomy. The resentment in his eyes could not be concealed. If Wang Mang had not stopped him in the previous battle for the Son of Saint, he would have become the Son of Saint long ago. Even Zhang Tianyu did not dare to jump out. Moreover, he had been severely injured by Wang Mang. If he had not admitted defeat early, he would have been beaten to death by Wang Mang. Therefore, the White Bone Lord hated Wang Mang to the core. As for Zhang Tianyu, he was much better in comparison. Although there was hostility in his eyes when he looked at Wang Mang, there was no hatred. The reason why he had failed in the previous battle for the Son of Saint was indeed because something had happened to his sister. Wang Mang did not care about this. Instead, he asked with a smile, "What a coincidence. Are the two of you also go to Wulong City?" The White Bone Lord's face immediately turned cold. "Why do you care where I go?" Hearing this, a trace of killing intent flashed in Wang Mang's eyes. He immediately chuckled. "It's nothing. I'm just reminding Junior Brother to be careful. It's not safe outside. After all, you're also a member of the All Demons Sacred Ground. It's fine if you die outside, but it won't do if you tarnish the reputation of the All Demons Sacred Ground." The White Bone Lord was instantly furious. His eyes were filled with resentment. In the end, after a cold snort, the White Bone Lord left with Zhang Tianyu. Seeing the two of them leave, Wang Mang could not help but narrow his eyes. If nothing unexpected happened, Zhang Tianyu had joined the bloodthirsty faction. However, the current Zhang Tianyu was no longer a threat to Wang Mang. The reason for that was because Wang Mang's strength had once again reached a breakthrough while wearing the Immortal Emperor's mask. His battle strength had reached the third heavenly layer of the Saint Emperor realm. Unless Zhang Tianyu's battle strength broke through again, or he successfully reached the Saint Emperor realm. Therefore, Wang Mang did not think too much about it and set off with Enlan. After bypassing the All Demons Sacred Ground, Wang Mang and Enlan passed by the Thousand Beast City, White Tiger City, and Fallen Phoenix City. In the end, Wang Mang and Enlan spent 2 days to cross a third of the Eastern Sky Realm before arriving at Wulong City's gates. It was worth mentioning that this Wulong City was truly a large city with many clans and factions. There were many people coming and going at the city gates, all of them at the 4th stage and above. Wang Mang did not see anyone weaker than that. When Wang Mang and Enlan were about to enter Wulong City, they even had to pay the city gate fee before successfully entering Wulong City. After entering Wulong City, Wang Mang passed through the bustling market and arrived at a tall building in the center of the city. This building stood out like a crane among chickens in Wulong City. It was extremely tall. Standing on top of the building, one could even look down on the huge Wulong City. Moreover, Wang Mang was still outside the corridor of this building. He saw many young prodigies with powerful auras. Many of them were pointing at Wang Mang and discussing. It was worth mentioning. Wang Mang only glanced at them indifferently before he was shocked to find out. Just the number of prodigies on this building alone was no less than a few dozen. Not only that, most of these prodigies had the aura of a Saint Emperor. Chapter 684. F***CK. It's really a gathering of prodigies. To be honest, Wang Mang couldn't help but click his tongue when he saw this scene. He originally thought that there wouldn't be many legendary prodigies in the entire Eastern Heaven Realm. He didn't expect that there would be dozens of them here. This meant that there were many prodigies in the Eastern Heaven Realm. Although there were only 4 super sacred grounds in the Eastern Heaven Realm, the problem was that there were many powerful clans. These clans didn't send their prodigies to the sacred grounds. Instead, they nurtured them in their own clans. If that was the case, it basically made sense. Otherwise, prodigies wouldn't be too worthless. However, Wang Mang could tell from this. The Hidden Dragon Saint's son, sure, had a lot of face. He could actually invite so many prodigies. Even if the number of prodigies here wasn't half, it was definitely at least a quarter. A third was possible at this moment, just as Wang Mang was about to enter. However, he was stopped by 2 Ninth Heaven Immortal Emperors. The 2 Ninth Heaven Immortal Emperor gatekeepers said expressionlessly, "Young Master, please accept the invitation card sent by our young master." Hearing this, Wang Mang's expression was indifferent as he opened his palm. An invitation card appeared in his palm. After receiving the invitation, the two gatekeepers checked it and then said respectfully, "Senior brother, you're the one who sent the invitation. Saint son of 1,000 demons, please enter and exit as you please. However, your followers can only stay on the first and second floors. Those who haven't reached the Sage Emperor level can't enter the third floor." After saying that, the two gatekeepers glanced at Enlon. Obviously, they thought that Enlon was Wang Mang's follower. After hearing this, Enlon was so angry that his whole body trembled. He only felt that he had suffered a great humiliation. What do they mean by those who haven't reached the Sage Emperor level can't enter the sixth floor? This was simply differential treatment. It was too F***king realistic. Enlon, who was about to explode in anger, finally suppressed his anger under Wang Mang's gaze and didn't say anything. As for Wang Mang, he was wearing the Immortal Emperor mask, and his strength had reached the third heaven Immortal Emperor level. Naturally, he could enter the tall building. Thus, after entering the Crouching Dragon Pavilion, Zhang Xian was stunned. Wang Mang was surprised to find that there were many peerless geniuses on the first floor. There were as many as 3 of them. However, these 3 legendary geniuses were very weak. The most powerful one was only at the second heaven. In addition, Wang Mang also saw a familiar figure in the crowd. This figure was none other than someone else. It was Tong Yin from the Saint Emperor Academy. There was a familiar figure beside Tong Yin. She was his former junior, Tong Xin. Even more damnable, Wang Mang saw Tong Yin. Tong Yin also saw Wang Mang. When she saw Wang Mang, Tong Yin's beautiful eyes widened. She almost instantly thought of Wang Mang's domineering figure in the secret realm in the Supreme Being's tomb. Oh my God, it really was him. He's actually the Holy Son of the All-Devil's Holy Land. I should have thought of this earlier. His strength is so strong, and his aura is like the aura of the demonic path. For a moment, Tong Yin's beautiful eyes couldn't help but shine. Then, she couldn't help but feel a little excited. Finally, she mustered up her courage and walked up. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was instantly dumbfounded. Could it be that this bitch recognized me? Just as Wang Mang was in a daze, he heard an extremely gentle voice. Tong Yin of the Tong family of Fallen Phoenix City greets the Holy Son of all devils. Wang Mang almost doubted his own ears when he heard this soft and tender voice that was so soft that it seeped into his bones. What the hell? Is this still the bitch Tong Yin I know? Why did her attitude change so much? Could it be that she saw how awesome I am, so she wants to kneel and lick my boots? For a moment, a lot of questions popped up in Wang Mang's mind. If that was the case, Wang Mang wouldn't have taken a liking to Tong Yin. This bitch, now that his strength had skyrocketed, it was good enough that he didn't take revenge on her. Now that she saw that I'm rich and awesome, she wants to kneel and lick my boots? Huh. Hypocritical and realistic man. It's too late to kneel and lick my boots now. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was very cold. He didn't give Tong Yin any face and just nodded indifferently. Then, Wang Mang glanced at the absent-minded junior, Tong Xin, and walked up to the second floor with his hands behind his back. Seeing this, Tong Yin only felt her heart shatter. An inexplicable bitterness welled up in her heart. At this moment, mocking voices sounded. Haha, what a cold goddess. Young Master Zhou and young Master Sun like her so much. They ignore her, but now they're kneeling and licking the Holy Son of all devils' boots. She's simply delusional. She wants to seduce the Holy Son of all devils? She should look in a mirror and see what her family background is like. That's right. I saw it just now. The new Holy Son of all devils aura has reached the third firmament of Saint Emperor. Is Tong Yin worthy? That's right. She's just a toad lusting after a swan's meat. The Holy Son of all devils has the potential to become a god emperor, and he even has the Immortal Emperor mask. How could he be interested in her? Clearly, these mocking voices came from the disciples of other clans on the first floor. They were also geniuses, but they weren't supreme geniuses. However, they were definitely among the best of their peers. They could even be considered quasi-supreme geniuses. Moreover, all of the people present here were people with deep backgrounds. The forces behind them were either first-rate clans, ordinary sacred grounds, or first-rate sacred grounds. In short, those who could come to the Crouching Dragon Pavilion were all elites of the younger generation. After hearing everyone's mocking voices, Tong Yin's beautiful face dimmed. The corners of her mouth curled into a bitter smile. That's right. He was the holy son of all devils. Such a noble identity was much more powerful than the so-called first-rate clan behind her. In Tong Yin's opinion, perhaps she knew Wang Mang, but Wang Mang didn't know her. After all, back in the Supreme Secret Realm, she had only hidden in a corner and silently watched Wang Mang. Thinking of this, Tong Yin was disappointed. However, she was still very persistent. In her opinion, Wang Mang didn't know her before, but now they had already met once. In the future, they would naturally become familiar with each other. As long as she persisted, there would definitely be a chance. Thinking of this, Tong Yin turned a deaf ear to the mocking voices. Then, Tong Yin silently retreated to her sister's side with an expressionless face. At this time, the absent-minded Tong Xin couldn't help but mock. What's wrong? My good sister, didn't you tell me to focus on cultivation? You also said that love, and the 7 emotions and 6 desires are just fleeting clouds. What's wrong with sister today? Seeing the holy son of all devils, you seem to be possessed? Hearing her sister's mockery, Tong Yin, who was already in low spirits, suddenly became furious. Her pretty face was full of anger. She glared at her sister angrily and scolded sternly. You're so stubborn. Are you still thinking about that so-called senior of yours? Moreover, how can that senior Wang Mang of yours be compared to the holy son of all devils? Chapter 685. At this moment, Tong Yin felt disheartened. She didn't expect others to mock her. She didn't expect her sister to mock her too. What made her even angrier was she knew that her younger sister was still unable to forget that shameless little thief Wang Mang from back then. These days, she had been distracted, as if she had lost her soul. Thinking of this, Tong Yin regretted it even more. She shouldn't have let her sister enter Saint Emperor Academy. In the end, her strength didn't increase much, but so many terrible things happened. At the same time, Tong Xin, who had been suppressed by her sister for a long time, finally exploded. Her face was red, and she looked up at Tong Yin with her red eyes. She choked and said, Yes, you're right. You're right to like someone else. Everything I do is wrong. But you can't look down on Senior Wang Mang. He's also very outstanding. Tong Xin mustered up her courage to shout the last sentence to Tong Yin. Looking at her sister's stubborn look, Tong Yin was so angry that her face turned pale and her body trembled. You damn girl, how dare you shout at me? She wanted to scold her sister, but she didn't know what to say. At the same time, on the other side, what happened downstairs? Wang Mang didn't know. After coming to the second floor, Wang Mang also found 5 or 6 peerless geniuses. These 5 or 6 peerless geniuses were stronger and had reached the mid-stage Immortal Emperor realm. However, to Wang Mang, most of them were unfamiliar faces. He basically didn't recognize them. Of course, although Wang Mang didn't know them. But these peerless geniuses knew Wang Mang. Or rather, they knew Wang Mang's clothes, and the identity token of the Holy Son of all demons on Wang Mang's waist. Therefore, many peerless geniuses took the initiative to greet him. I'm the Holy Son of the Thousand Faces, Sacred Ground. Greetings, Holy Son of Thousand Faces, Sacred Ground. I'm Xiao Zhan of the Xiao Clan of Falling Phoenix City. Greetings, Holy Son of Thousand Faces, Sacred Ground. Crouching Dragon Sacred Ground's core disciple, Chu Gu, greets the Holy Son of Myriad Demons. In an instant, Wang Mang could be said to have been surrounded by a group of young geniuses. The enthusiasm of these prodigies was beyond Wang Mang's expectations. Thus, after Wang Mang greeted him with a smile, he left and continued to head upstairs. This was because Wang Mang looked humble and easy to get along with on the surface, but in reality, he didn't take them seriously at all. However, Wang Mang paid attention to the weaker geniuses, because if nothing unexpected happened, Wang Mang would choose to make a move on these guys. After all, even a persimmon had to be picked on. Soon, Wang Mang reached the third floor. When he reached the third floor, Wang Mang noticed it. Without exception, all the experts there had reached the level of a Saint Emperor. These young geniuses were the real geniuses of the younger generation. That was because on the third floor, there were too many peerless geniuses. There were more than 20 of them. Obviously, these were the real, peerless geniuses of Crouching Dragon Tower. Moreover, these guys' auras were not inferior to a Saint Emperor. In fact, Wang Mang even sensed a few mid-stage Saint Emperors. This made Wang Mang even more shocked. He didn't expect that there were already mid-stage Saint Emperors among the peerless geniuses. Just as Wang Mang was shocked, many other geniuses were also sizing up Wang Mang. When they saw the immortal Emperor mask on Wang Mang's face, they were even more shocked. The holy son of myriad demons and the holder of the immortal Emperor mask, Wang Mang was definitely qualified to step into their small circle. Most of the geniuses present were only at the first or second heavenly layer of Saint Emperors. There weren't many who had reached the third heavenly layer of Saint Emperors. There were only 3 who were mid-stage Saint Emperors. Therefore, after seeing Wang Mang, many of them nodded at Wang Mang, acknowledging him. At the same time, some of the geniuses began to discuss softly. Good guy, there's going to be a good show. The Holy Son of Hidden Dragon is the holder of the Saint Emperor mask. I didn't expect the Holy Son of Myriad Demons to be the holder of the immortal Emperor mask. His strength is not bad. The Holy Son of Hidden Dragon is only at the 4th heavenly layer of Saint Emperor. Just as the peerless geniuses were discussing Wang Mang, a hearty laugh sounded. You must be the Holy Son of Myriad Demons. I am the Holy Son of Hidden Dragon, Sacred Ground. Hearing that, Wang Mang raised his head and looked over. He saw a handsome young man wearing a white gown walking toward him. Moreover, Wang Mang could sense that this guy's aura was very powerful. He was at the 2nd heavenly layer of Saint Emperor. However, after hearing his identity, Wang Mang's heart sank. Good guy, this guy's strength was already at the 9th heavenly layer of Immortal Emperor. Including the fact that he was a peerless genius, he definitely had the strength of a 2nd heavenly layer of Saint Emperor. Including the Immortal Emperor mask, this guy's strength was at the 4th heavenly layer of Saint Emperor. More importantly, Wang Mang had a conflict with this guy. This was because this guy had tried to snatch his Immortal Emperor mask back in the Supreme Tomb Secret Realm. Moreover, before the God Emperor Mask Holder and Demon Emperor Mask Holder arrived, he was the first to escape. At the crucial moment, he even attacked Wang Mang. If it weren't for Wang Mang's luck, he would have been killed by the God Emperor Mask Holder and Demon Emperor Mask Holder. However, this guy didn't seem to be hostile toward Wang Mang at all. It was as if he didn't remember what had happened in the past. Therefore, Wang Mang replied with a smile, "Greetings, Holy Son of Hidden Dragon." Hearing this, the Holy Son of Hidden Dragon smiled and said, "Come, Holy Son of Hidden Dragon, let me introduce you to the other 2. As he spoke, the Holy Son of Hidden Dragon acted like they were close friends and pulled Wang Mang to a corridor far away. Then, Wang Mang saw the other 2 peerless geniuses in the middle stage of Saint Emperor and the Holy Sons of the other 2 super sacred grounds. Moreover, the Holy Son of Hidden Dragon introduced them with a warm smile. This is Brother Nangong Wentian from the Nangong family of Fallen Phoenix City. This is Brother Fong Tianlong from the Fong family of Demon City. This is the Holy Son of the Divine Light, Sacred Ground, Zhou Batong. This is the Holy Son of the Sword Deity, Sacred Ground, Demon Sword Deity. Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly understood. At the same time, he also knew that among the few people present, they were definitely the people with the highest status in the entire Eastern Sky Realm. After all, the Holy Sons of the 4 super sacred grounds were all here. Even Nangong Wentian and Fong Tianlong weren't holy sons. However, they still had the support of their families and had reached the middle stage of Saint Emperor. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately smiled and cupped his hands. Greetings, holy son of Hidden Dragon. The other four peerless geniuses and holy sons all nodded at Wang Mang. This was their acknowledgement of Wang Mang. At this moment, the demon sword saint looked at the mask on Wang Mang's face and suddenly smiled. Holy son of Hidden Dragon, your immortal emperor mask is not bad. Would you be willing to part with it? Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then, he smiled angrily. I think your mother is not bad. Would you be willing to part with it? Chapter 686. The reason why Wang Mang was so angry. There was a reason why he was so angry. After all, he had just arrived at the Crouching Dragon Tower. However, among all the prodigies present, there were only 5 that caught Wang Mang's attention or even thought highly of. Although the demonic sword immortal was indeed worthy of Wang Mang's attention. That was it. This guy was no threat to Wang Mang. On the contrary, the only ones who could threaten Wang Mang were the Crouching Dragon Saint, Nangong Wentian, and Fong Tianlong. The 3 of them had reached the 4th heaven of the Saint Emperor realm. Wang Mang was indeed slightly weaker than them. But that was it. Even if there was a gap, Wang Mang would not be afraid of anyone present. After all, he also possessed the battle prowess of a 3rd heavenly layer Saint Emperor. None of the prodigies present could do that. Therefore, Wang Mang naturally had no reason to keep a low profile. As for the demon sword immortal, what was he? Would he be afraid of the demon sword immortal? Although the demon sword immortal was the saint of the sword immortal sacred ground. But Wang Mang was the saint of the 1,000 demons sacred ground. Their statuses and strengths were on par. Wang Mang naturally did not give him any face. Moreover, this dog was eyeing his immortal emperor mask. Aha! Did you hear that, demon sword immortal? The saint of the 1,000 demons sacred ground is interested in your mother. Can you let her go? At this moment, the saint of the divine light sacred ground, Zhou Batong, could not help but laugh. Hearing this, Nangong Wentian, Fong Tianlong, and the other 5 people present all laughed. Yes, even the demon sword immortal was laughing. Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded by his laughter. Good heavens, I'm interested in his mother, and this guy can still laugh. But in the next moment, the other party's words immediately made Wang Mang dumbfounded. The demon sword immortal was not angry at all. Instead, he said with a smile, "Everyone, be my witness." This guy said himself that he's interested in my mother. At this point, the demon sword immortal looked at Wang Mang and said with a smile, "You can let her go, as long as you like it. If you're really interested in my mother, I'm willing to part with her. However, I don't think she's as valuable as the mask of the immortal emperor. Fellow Taoist, if you're willing to trade, not only will I give you my mother, I'll also give you my younger sister and fiancée. If that's the case, I'll feel more at ease holding the immortal emperor's mask, and fellow Taoist won't feel that you've lost too much." After hearing this, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. He never expected that the demonic sword immortal, this dog, could really say such words. She had seen shameless people before, but she had never seen someone so shameless and without a bottom line. For this dog to be able to become the holy son of the sword immortal holy land, he was definitely a ruthless character. The 7 emotions and 6 desires, family and love, in this guy's eyes, were really worthless. After all, Wang Mang couldn't do something without a bottom line, but this guy could. Listen to what this guy is saying. Is this even human language? He could even give his mother away. No, he was even willing to give his sister and wife away. If he was really willing to trade, he would probably feel that he had lost out if someone gave him 2 extra. To be honest, Wang Mang didn't know how to evaluate this guy for a moment. This guy was really heartless, wholeheartedly pursuing the supreme realm. At the same time, Wang Mang also knew that this guy was definitely a cold-blooded person to the extreme. He was a ruthless person, much more ruthless than Wang Mang. At this moment, it wasn't just Wang Mang who was stunned. Similarly, the other four holy sons and legendary geniuses standing beside him were also stunned. They all looked at the demonic sword immortal in shock, and their eyes also became serious. Regarding this, the demonic sword immortal had a gentle smile on his face from beginning to end, and he didn't feel embarrassed at all. After taking a deep breath, Wang Mang looked at the demonic sword immortal with a serious gaze and gritted his teeth. "You're ruthless." The demonic sword immortal laughed and said, "If fellow Taoist is willing to trade, we can do it now." After saying this, Wang Mang didn't know how to continue, and his expression didn't look too good. At this moment, the gentle Wulong Holy Sun chuckled. "Brother Holy Sun of all demons, don't be so serious. The demonic sword immortal was just joking." At this moment, an ear-piercing mocking voice sounded. "How are you any different from a beast, if you can even say such words? Is this kind of person worthy of being with us legendary geniuses?" Hearing this, Wang Mang turned around in surprise and saw the person who spoke. It was none other than Zhang Tianyu of the All Demons Sacred Land. The demonic sword immortal's lips curled up slightly, and he said with a smile, "What right do you have to interrupt us when we're talking?" Hearing this, Zhang Tianyu wasn't afraid of the demonic sword immortal at all. He sneered and said, "What can you do to me even if I say it?" Zhang Tianyu didn't want to speak up for Wang Mang, as he hated heartless people like the demonic sword immortal very much. Hearing this, the demonic sword immortal turned to look at Wang Mang and chuckled. "Holy Son of all demons, is everyone from the All Demons Sacred Land so nosy?" Hearing this, Wang Mang was expressionless and couldn't even be bothered with this guy. Seeing this, the demonic sword immortal looked at Zhang Tianyu strangely and asked curiously, "How did a meddlesome person like you survive until now?" Hearing this, Zhang Tianyu sneered and said, "What does it have to do with you how I survive until now? What, you want to kill me? Are you worthy?" For a moment, all the legendary geniuses present were watching the show with playful expressions. Similarly, Wang Mang also looked like he was watching a good show. Although he didn't get along with Zhang Tianyu, Wang Mang didn't have a good impression of the demonic sword immortal either. Therefore, these two guys didn't care who died. To Wang Mang, this was good news that he was happy to see. The demonic sword immortal was clearly enraged. He squinted his eyes slightly and said coldly, "Do you really think that I can't kill you?" In response, Zhang Tianyu didn't back down and sneered. "You? Do you think that a third heaven sage emperor can kill me?" Seeing the two of them getting ready to fight, the Wulong Saint immediately said with a smile, "If the two of you want to fight, you can move to the nearby arena. Life and death are not allowed in the arena. If you're not afraid of death, the two of you can go and fight." Following the Wulong Saint's words, the other legendary geniuses also chimed in. "That's right. If you have the guts, don't just talk. Fight to the death in the arena. That's right. What's the use of bickering? Fight to the death if you can." As the legendary geniuses jeered, the demonic sword immortal looked at Zhang Tianyu indifferently and said, "Do you dare to fight to the death in the arena?" Hearing this, Zhang Tianyu snorted and said, "Why not? Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Seeing this, the Wulong Saint immediately waved his hand and said, "Since that's the case, we'll move to the arena and be the witnesses for the two of you." Hearing this, the legendary geniuses cheered and left the Wulong Pavilion, heading to the arena. Naturally, Wang Mang was among them. Not only that, Wang Mang was also one of the people walking at the front. This also made Tong Yen, who was mixed in with the other legendary geniuses, couldn't help but be amazed. Indeed, Tong Yen, value the man. Even among the legendary geniuses, he is also that dazzling existence. Chapter 687. Because, in Tong Yen's opinion, there were too many prodigies present. There were dozens of legendary prodigies. But what about Wang Mang? Among the dozens of legendary prodigies, he was still one of the few legendary prodigies standing at the front. This also meant that among the prodigies, Wang Mang was also one of the top prodigies. If Wang Mang could not be recognized, the rest of the prodigies would not be convinced at all. In the end, Even among the prodigies, strength was still the most respected. The stronger one was, the higher one's status would be. This was an unchanging truth since time immemorial. However, right at this moment, Wang Mang and the other prodigies saw 10 young masters dressed in luxurious clothes. Their strength was all over the place. These 10 young men all looked like rich playboys. They were surrounded by a group of servants and servants. Everyone on the street avoided him like the plague. Seeing these 10 arrogant young men, Wang Mang could not help but frown slightly. He was not a fool. Of course, he could sense that these young men were not to be trifled with. Why? Because Wang Mang was among these 10 young men. He also saw Feng Tianhu, the son of the city master of infinite demons. Not only that, they also had several sage emperor-level experts as their subordinates. If it was an ordinary person, would they have sage emperor-level experts as their subordinates? This was obviously impossible. Hey, aren't these the prodigies of the East Heaven realm? What a grand display! At this moment, an extremely ear-piercing mocking laughter was heard. Hearing this, all the prodigies present frowned. Many of them could not help but start discussing. These guys we really met. Ignorant and incompetent things. How dare they compare with us? They're just a bunch of rich playboys. They're nothing. Forget it. Why bother with a bunch of rich playboys? Ignore these trash. They're just rich playboys relying on their parents. Although that's the case, they have 10 god emperors behind them. They can't be underestimated. So what if they have 10 god emperors? Could it be that the forces behind us are smaller than them? Wang Mang was shocked when he heard the discussions of the crowd. He didn't expect that the 10 arrogant and despotic youths in front of him were actually the sons of the 10 city lords. What kind of concept was the 10 city lords? There were only 10 great cities in the Eastern Sky Realm. The rest of the cities were not counted as the top 10 cities. However, the son of the city lord of these 10 great cities. In that case, the status of these fellows could be imagined. Clearly, even many of the Sky Prides present were unwilling to provoke these spoiled brats. Not to mention that he had met the son of one of the 10 city lords all of a sudden. As for the person who mocked him, it was the young man standing at the very front. This venerable Qinyan strength was also very strong. He was actually Saint Emperor. Of course, he was only a first heavenly layer Saint Emperor. The other 9 city lord sons did not possess the strength of a Saint Emperor at all. Of course, he was much more arrogant than Wang Mang and the other geniuses. Fortunately, the leading hidden dragon Saint Child smiled and said, "Everyone, make way for the sons of the city lords." Hearing that, the hidden dragon Saint Child was the first to make way for them. Similarly, Nangong Wentian, Feng Tianlong, the demon sword saint, and Zhou Batong also made way for them. Seeing that, Wang Mang naturally went with the flow. After all, Wang Mang did not want to provoke these disgusting people. The pursuit of a celestial emperor expert and a pursuit of a sage emperor expert could not be compared at all. As for the reason, could a saint emperor be compared to a god emperor? These two realms were two completely different concepts. Seeing that the Sky Prides had made way for them, the sons of the city lords all laughed mockingly. "Ha, Sky Prides? So what if you're a Sky Pride? Aren't you obediently making way for them? Don't say that. We're all spoiled brats. We can't beat these Sky Prides. Ha ha." Hearing the words of these spoiled brats, the Sky Prides were all enraged. However, they did not make a move. That was because the price to pay for killing these spoiled brats was too high. Moreover, it was not that easy to kill these spoiled brats. Didn't you see how many Saint Emperors they had brought with them? After sending these spoiled brats away, Wang Mang and the other Sky Prides finally arrived at the so-called arena. This arena was shaped like a pot. The closer to the center, the lower it was, and the higher it was, the wider it was. Moreover, there were many people surrounding the center of the arena, shouting loudly. That was because there were a total of 5 battlefields in the huge arena. 2 of them had powerful cultivators fighting in them. At this moment, the Wulong Saint turned to look at the Demon Sword Saint and Zhang Tianyu. He said with a smile, "Please, as for whether it's a life-and-death battle or a one-on-one battle, it's up to you. Hearing that, the demon sword saint looked at Zhang Tianyu expressionlessly and jumped onto the battlefield. Similarly, Zhang Tianyu did not back down and jumped onto the battlefield. Then, an enchantment formed in the sky above the battlefield. In the next instant, the two of them started fighting on the battlefield. What made Wang Mang even more astonished was that Zhang Tianyu had once again brought out an almost shameless fighting style. The world-destroying demonic plate appeared in the sky, and the top-tier doppelganger ability split into three. No matter how fierce the demon sword saint was, he still could not do anything to Zhang Tianyu. What made Wang Mang even more incredulous was that Zhang Tianyu's strength had increased again. It seemed that becoming a candidate for the saint would also give him good cultivation resources. Otherwise, the people of the bloodthirsty faction would give Zhang Tianyu a lot of benefits. Otherwise, Zhang Tianyu's battle strength would not have reached the peak of the second heaven of Saint Emperor. For a moment, Wang Mang did not know if Zhang Tianyu could withstand the demon sword saint's attack. At this moment, a chuckle came from beside Wang Mang. Fellow saint son of myriad demons, how about the two of us also fight? As for the wager, let's use your immortal emperor mask and my saint emperor mask. Hearing that, Wang Mang suddenly turned to look at the Wulong saint's son. Seeing the Wulong saint's son looking at him with a smile, Wang Mang slowly narrowed his eyes. It seemed that this guy was also thinking about his immortal emperor mask, thinking about the grudge of that palm strike. Wang Mang did not have a good impression of the Wulong saint's son at all. Of course, in the end, Wang Mang rejected without hesitation. Forget it. I'm not as strong as the Wulong saint's son. He was not an idiot. How could he accept this guy's challenge? After all, this guy's strength was higher than his by a small realm. Because of that, Wang Mang would never agree to this guy's challenge no matter what he said. Because against the Wulong saint's son, Wang Mang had no confidence in defeating him. Seeing that Wang Mang had rejected him, the Wulong saint's son was not surprised at all. How about this? I'll suppress my strength to the same realm as yours, and we won't use masks. How about we fight at the same realm? Hearing that, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. He was a little tempted, because in the same realm, Wang Mang had never feared anyone. Chapter 688. However, Wang Mang hesitated after giving it some thought. That guy dared to bet on the Sacred Emperor mask with him. This proved that this guy had absolute confidence in winning. Otherwise, he would not have provoked him so many times. Wang Mang became cautious at that thought. Although he had many trump cards, he was not afraid of that guy playing tricks. However, the problem was that Wang Mang had to complete the mission first. For example, if Wang Mang were to kill the 15 Supreme Prodigies first, Wang Mang would be more than happy to fight that guy. Not only would he have completed the mission, but he would also not be afraid of that guy playing tricks. At most, he would activate the Divine Demon's wrath. No matter what tricks he had, he would kill them all. If he could not win, he could still escape from the Sacred Emperor continent. With that thought, Wang Mang said slowly, "How about this? I'll fight you later." With that, Wang Mang turned to look at the legendary prodigies. Finally, his gaze landed on the legendary prodigies. He chuckled and said, "Are there any friends who are willing to fight me to the death at the same cultivation level?" Hearing Wang Mang's words, the hidden dragon saint frowned slightly. He did not know what Wang Mang was up to. However, when he thought about how Wang Mang was worried about fighting him, he understood. Then, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile as he looked at the supreme geniuses present. If any legendary prodigy thinks that he can defeat the 1,000 Demon Saint at the same cultivation level, don't hesitate. It's time to make a name for yourself. If you can defeat the 1,000 Demon Saint at the same cultivation level, your name will be known throughout the Eastern Heaven Realm. Although he did not know what Wang Mang was up to, since Wang Mang was going to fight the other legendary prodigies, he could take the opportunity to see Wang Mang's strength. Although he was confident that he was invincible in the same realm, if he understood Wang Mang's strength and combat abilities, then he would be more confident in fighting Wang Mang at the same realm. Because of this, he stepped out to help Wang Mang provoke these peerless heaven's favorites. This was because there was not a single peerless genius who was not proud. These peerless geniuses all thought that they were invincible in the same realm. As expected, with Wang Mang's words and the hidden dragon Saint Sun's provocation, the hidden dragon Saint Sun had no choice but to agree. A peerless genius at the second heaven of the immortal emperor realm slowly walked out under the surprised gazes of the other geniuses. He said confidently, "I'll fight you, Gu Juji of the Gu family of Wulong City." With that, the young man leaped into the air and landed on the battlefield. Hearing this, Wang Mang was elated. After that, Wang Mang also jumped onto the battlefield. Then, the young man shouted from afar, "Life and death battle of the same realm. Do you agree?" With that, the young man looked at Wang Mang. Hearing this, Wang Mang did not back down and nodded, "I agree." With that, a powerful force enveloped Wang Mang's entire body. In the next instant, Wang Mang realized in shock that his cultivation level was sealed at the ninth heaven of the immortal emperor realm. In addition to the immortal emperor mask on his face, he was also a peerless genius. His strength was the same as Gu Juji's at the fourth heaven of the immortal emperor realm. Seeing this, Gu Juji's face was filled with murderous intent. He no longer hid the greed in his eyes as he stared at the immortal emperor mask on Wang Mang's face. Originally, with his strength, there was no way he could fight Wang Mang directly. But the problem was, Wang Mang was so arrogant that he wanted to fight all the peerless geniuses of the same realm. This gave him a chance to get the immortal emperor mask. At the same time, Wang Mang also saw the murderous intent in this guy's eyes. But Wang Mang snickered to himself, since he had chosen to fight at the same realm. Naturally, he was confident that he could defeat these ants. And not only did Wang Mang want to defeat these ants, he wanted to defeat all 15 peerless geniuses in one go. Thinking about this, Wang Mang's murderous intent was ignited. But to protect the Holy Sun's face, Wang Mang pretended to be calm and said, "I'll let you attack first." Hearing this, Gu Juji snickered and attacked without hesitation. He formed a seal with both hands and shouted, "Void chains." As soon as he finished speaking, thousands of chains appeared out of thin air around Wang Mang, wrapping around him. This instantly caused Wang Mang to be extremely shocked. This fellow actually knows a top-rate divine ability as well. This also made Wang Mang realize a problem. All the peerless geniuses had mastered peerless techniques. At the same time, every peerless genius was not to be underestimated. Thinking about this, Wang Mang's face turned serious. At the same time, Wang Mang did not hesitate to use his technique. 1,000 Buddhas sitting, as Wang Mang formed a seal and shouted. A lofty Buddha figure that looked down on all living beings appeared. This Buddha figure's expression carried an indifference to all life, standing behind Wang Mang. At the same time, the thousands of void chains could not break through Wang Mang's defense. Then, Wang Mang formed a seal with both hands and used the 1,000 Buddhas slaughter. In the next moment, the sky was filled with Buddha shadows. Each of them covered the sky and charged towards Gu Juji. Seeing this, Gu Juji's face changed. He also formed a seal and used a defensive technique. Divine Turtle Heavenly Shell. At the same time as he roared, a giant tortoise silhouette condensed from a vast amount of magic power appeared. Unfortunately, under the onslaught of the Buddha figures, it was a little difficult. Moreover, the health bar above his head kept dropping. Helpless, Gu Juji had no choice but to give up on attacking and focus on defending. Seeing this, Wang Mang laughed in his heart. This guy's defensive technique was just SOSO. It was not at the level of the best. This also meant that he was destined to fall, because defensive techniques were just as important as offensive techniques. It was a matter of life and death. Of course, Wang Mang was not in a hurry to kill this guy. On the contrary, Wang Mang started to put on an act. Therefore, to outsiders, the two of them were evenly matched. This caused the battle to drag on for a long time. After delaying for a few hours, Yi Zichen finally came back to his senses. Wang Mang finally managed to kill Gu Juji. Boom! There was a loud explosion. Gu Juji was blasted into a bloody mist by Wang Mang. At the same time, the system's voice rang out. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully killed a peerless genius. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 1 talent point. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. At this time, the enchantment around the battleground was automatically lifted. Then, Wang Mang looked at the group of geniuses in the distance. Which other peerless genius dares to fight me to the death in the same cultivation level? But just as Wang Mang finished speaking, another young man jumped on the battleground. This peerless genius looked at Wang Mang with disdain. He crossed his arms arrogantly in front of him and sneered coldly. You're right. Do you really think you are that powerful? In my eyes, you are nothing. If an ant like you can become the saint, then I can kill as many as I want in the same cultivation level. Chapter 689. After hearing that, Wang Mang was so angry that he laughed. He did not expect this guy to be so arrogant. However, Wang Mang was also very happy. This meant that his acting skills were quite good. In fact, that was indeed the case. In Liu Bei's opinion, Wang Mang had won by a fluke. Moreover, Wang Mang had been fighting for so long. In his opinion, Wang Mang's strength was only average. Yes, very average. Similarly, Gu Juji's strength was even more average. That was why he could not wait to jump out. After all, once he killed Wang Mang, he would gain too many benefits. Not only would he be famous, but the immortal emperor's mask was also very tempting. With that thought, Liu Bei said coldly, I'll fight you at the same level. Do you agree? Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately became incomparably furious. Without any hesitation, he angrily roared, Agree. In the eyes of outsiders, Wang Mang was simply blinded by anger. At the same time, in the group of prodigies, many people also had doubts about Wang Mang. Because the combat strength that Wang Mang displayed did not seem like the strength that the Holy Son of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons should have. On the other hand, Zhang Tianyu, who was able to fight the demon sword immortal to a standstill, had extraordinary combat strength. If Wang Mang was only at this level, Zhang Tianyu could not have lost to Wang Mang, right? At this moment, many people had doubts and questions in their hearts. At this moment, a prodigy from the city of 10,000 demons explained with a smile, I know about this. Back then, Zhang Tianyu and this guy were fighting for the position of Holy Son. Coincidentally, Zhang Tianyu's sister was kidnapped at that time. So Zhang Tianyu gave up the fight for the position of Holy Son, and in the end, this guy took advantage of him. After hearing that prodigy from the city of 10,000 demons, all the prodigies present were enlightened. Then, the gazes with which they looked to Wang Mang became one of contempt and disdain. At first, they thought that Wang Mang was hiding his strength. In the end, it turned out that he had gotten lucky and became the Holy Son of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. For a moment, the way they looked at Wang Mang had changed. They were full of contempt. Even if Wang Mang himself was very strong, they were still very disdainful. This was because Wang Mang did not rely on his own strength to successfully obtain the position of Holy Son. In their eyes, Wang Mang's title as the Holy Son was naturally fake. This also made the peerless geniuses, who were originally somewhat doubtful and even cautious, somewhat eager to give it a try and secretly find it a pity. On the contrary, they hoped that Wang Mang would be able to kill Liu Bei. It would be best if Wang Mang could survive so that they could finish him off completely. After all, who wouldn't be tempted to trample on the Holy Son of the All-Demons' Holy Land and obtain the Celestial Emperor's mask? Several more hours passed. Under the nervous and expectant gazes of the peerless geniuses, Liu Bei had finally fallen. Good. Finally dead. Yes. Gave me a fright. Fortunately, the Holy Son of all demons held on. Don't fight with me. I'm from the general family of the All-Demons City. In your dreams, the Holy Son of the All-Demons' Holy Land will definitely become my stepping stone. Get lost. This Holy Son of the All-Demons' Holy Land. I should be the one to kill him. For a moment, the peerless geniuses were all excited. In order to be the first to attack, they were all arguing with each other until their faces turned red. At the same time, Wang Mang in the battle. Naturally, he also saw this scene. Wang Mang was indescribably happy about this. In the next moment, another peerless genius jumped onto the stage. Just like that, the cycle repeated again and again. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. At this moment, Wang Mang, who was fighting bitterly in the battle arena, had an extremely solemn expression. He had already killed 13 peerless geniuses in succession. However, this time, he had encountered a fierce opponent. This guy was too strong. He had already fought Wang Mang for an entire day, among the peerless geniuses of the same realm. This guy's strength was definitely qualified to compete with Wang Mang. That was because this guy's defensive divine ability was top-notch. His combat divine ability was also top-notch. Even his spatial capturing divine ability was top-notch. Bai Zhitian basically had all of the top-notch divine abilities that Wang Mang possessed. That was also the reason why Wang Mang couldn't take down the other party after fighting for so long. Damn it, this Bai Zhitian is really amazing. I have to think of a way. At this moment, Wang Mang was extremely anxious. That was because he only wanted to kill this guy now. Then, he would be very close to completing the mission. He had already killed 13 peerless geniuses in front of him. Just as Wang Mang was thinking about how to kill Bai Zhitian, a voice transmission sounded, "Fellow Taoist, how about we call a draw?" Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately knew what this guy was thinking. Obviously, this guy couldn't defeat him at all, so he wanted to call a draw. In fact, the life and death battle in the arena didn't have to be a life and death battle. As long as both sides agreed to a draw, the barrier of the arena would open. Hearing this, Wang Mang hesitated for a moment and wanted to refuse. That was because he had already killed more than 10 peerless geniuses. The remaining peerless geniuses were either stronger or more cautious. They definitely wouldn't accept the challenge easily. That was because so many days had passed. Even a fool could tell that he had been deliberately hiding his strength. But what gave Wang Mang a headache was how to take down this guy. This guy's defensive divine ability was on par with Wang Mang's 10,000 Buddha sitting ancient Buddha. His offensive divine ability was also very powerful. Wang Mang really didn't get any advantage from this guy. At this moment, seeing that Wang Mang didn't respond, he didn't continue to attack crazily. Bai Zhitian also didn't continue to attack. He knew that Wang Mang should still be considering. He could still afford to give this bit of time. At the same time, although he couldn't kill Wang Mang, it was also impossible for Wang Mang to kill him. The two of them had been fighting for a day. They had basically used all the methods they could. In fact, that was the case. Wang Mang didn't use the wrath of the gods and demons. He had used all the methods he could. Helpless, Wang Mang could only ask the system for help. Then, Wang Mang asked in his heart, "System, is there any way to kill this guy?" In the next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Warm reminder, it is recommended that the host upgrade the God-controlling seal to a top-notch divine ability. Ding. Warm reminder, the opponent doesn't have a top-notch divine ability. After upgrading the God-controlling seal, you can defeat the opponent. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. That's right. This guy didn't have a top-notch divine ability. Once he used a top-notch divine ability, this guy wouldn't be able to withstand it. This guy couldn't withstand it at all. When the time came, he would definitely die. Thinking of this, Wang Mang became even more excited. Then, he hurriedly asked, "System, how much energy do I need to upgrade the God-controlling seal to a top-notch divine ability?" Chapter 690. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. The host can spend 1.5 billion energy points. Upgrade the God-controlling seal to a top-tier divine ability. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang almost couldn't help but curse. This system was too king greedy. It just so happened to be asking for such a high price. This was simply treating him like a pig to be slaughtered. Wang Mang even suspected that the system had been waiting for him here for a long time. If it cost a few 100 million energy points, Wang Mang could bear with it. However, Wang Mang really couldn't accept so much energy points at once. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but ask again, "System, is there no other way?" The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Warm and fast host. The above method is the most convenient and safe." Ding. Method 2. The host can purchase a top-tier divine ability of the physical body. Ding. Purchasing a top-tier divine ability of the physical body, so the energy points are higher. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was completely helpless. The system's meaning was very clear. The best way was to upgrade the primordial soul-type divine ability. Although the price was high enough, once he bought it, he would be able to win this guy. Other than that, he would have to spend more energy points to purchase a top-tier divine ability of the physical body. Thinking of this, what else could Wang Mang say? He could only grit his teeth and say in his heart, "System, upgrade the God-controlling seal to a top-tier divine ability." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. 5 billion energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully upgraded the God-controlling seal. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained a top-tier divine ability, devouring divine ability. The next moment, Wang Mang felt a brand new divine ability in his mind. This top-notch, primordial, swallowing divine art was too overbearing and cruel. This was a top-tier divine ability of the primordial soul type. At the same time, this was also a vicious divine ability. When Wang Mang used it, his primordial spirit would be able to rush out and enter his opponent's body to devour their primordial spirit. Once the opponent's primordial spirit was unable to withstand Wang Mang's devouring, it would be completely devoured by Wang Mang and die. Moreover, what was even more exaggerated about this spirit-devouring technique was that it could strengthen oneself by devouring other people's primordial spirits. One had to know that once the primordial spirit was devoured, the person would be completely dead. This was because every living being's true spirit was also hidden within their primordial spirit. It could be said that once the primordial spirit was gone, it was truly gone. Other than that, this spirit-swallowing and godly devouring art was extremely abnormal. Even if his physical body was completely destroyed, it could also allow Wang Mang to survive in his primordial spirit state. They could even take over someone else's body and make it theirs, after understanding the power of the godly swallowing technique. Only then did Wang Mang feel a lot better. But at this moment, Bai Zhitian's voice sounded again. "Fellow Taoist, have you made up your mind? If we really continue to fight, it will be difficult for us to determine the winner. If it's a tie, I can take the initiative to propose a tie. Fellow Taoist, you just need to agree. At that time, you will have maintained your face, and I will also have maintained my dignity." After hearing this guy's voice transmission, Wang Mang immediately sneered in his heart. Then, Wang Mang did not hesitate and directly used the spirit-swallowing and godly devouring technique. In the next moment, a transparent figure with the same shape as Wang Mang drilled out of Wang Mang's body. Then, this figure shot towards Bai Zhitian. Seeing this scene, Bai Zhitian's face was filled with shock, and he cried out involuntarily, "You're crazy. You actually want to compete with my primordial spirit." Obviously, he could also see it. The white, transparent figure that flew out. It was Wang Mang's primordial spirit. Similarly, in the arena, the other legendary geniuses were in an uproar, because none of them had expected Wang Mang to be so crazy, competing with primordial spirits. Once the primordial spirit was damaged, it would be an injury that was difficult to heal. Damage to the primordial spirit was definitely the most serious injury. Similarly, once the primordial spirit was damaged, death was inevitable. Once the primordial spirit was damaged, it would be reduced to ashes. This guy is too crazy. He actually chose to compete with his primordial spirit. Yeah, even if he dies in battle, his primordial spirit can still escape. But this guy chose to compete with his primordial spirit. At this moment, The geniuses' faces were solemn as they discussed. Even the Wulong Saint's son, who had been calm all this time, was shocked when he saw this scene. His expression instantly became serious as he stared at Bai Zhitian, because Wang Mang had already launched a primordial spirit attack. It directly drilled into his opponent's body. It could be said that this was a suicide attack. If Wang Mang could not defeat Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit, he would suffer even the slightest loss. Not only would Wang Mang die, without a doubt, he would also be reduced to ashes. Moreover, primordial spirit type Grand Theurgy was simply amazing. It was as rare as physical body type Grand Theurgy. But to the Wulong Saint's son, since Wang Mang dared to use his primordial spirit to compete, victory was definitely in his grasp. Otherwise, no one would so easily use their primordial spirit to compete. At the same time, at this moment, Wang Mang had already charged into the other party's consciousness. This was a dark and barren consciousness. In the center of the consciousness, a transparent Bai Zhitian was looking at Wang Mang with a face full of shock and anger. This transparent Bai Zhitian was naturally his primordial spirit. It was also Wang Mang's target. In the next moment, Wang Mang laughed sinisterly and then charged towards Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit like a demon. In anger, Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit roared, "I'll fight it out with you." Then, Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit charged towards Wang Mang's primordial spirit. In the next moment, Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit and Wang Mang's primordial spirit clashed. Unfortunately, judging from the strength of Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit, it only had the strength of the original body's realm. For example, his original body was only at the sixth heaven of the immortal emperor realm. At this moment, his primordial spirit was only at the sixth heaven of the immortal emperor realm. But Wang Mang was different. With the support of the swallowing spirit devouring art, Wang Mang's primordial spirit was exceptionally powerful, and it even exceeded his original realm by a small realm. The strength of the two primordial spirits was not equal at all, because Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit only had the strength of a sixth heaven of the immortal emperor realm. But Wang Mang's primordial spirit had the strength of a ninth heaven of the immortal emperor realm. This was simply a complete suppression. Therefore, Wang Mang's primordial spirit crazily bit and bit. Bai Zhitian immediately screamed miserably. His primordial spirit was constantly being bitten and devoured by Wang Mang. In just a few minutes, Bai Zhitian's primordial spirit was completely devoured by Wang Mang. Only then did Wang Mang leave Bai Zhitian's body in satisfaction and return to his body. When Wang Mang slowly opened his eyes, he saw Bai Zhitian's body fall to the ground motionlessly. At the same time, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. "Congratulations to the host. You have successfully killed a peerless genius. You have obtained 1 talent point." Chapter 691. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was instantly overjoyed. Now, he only needed 1 more peerless genius. Wang Mang would be able to completely advance to become a peerless genius. At that time, everyone present would be his younger brother, and they would all raise their hands to suppress him. Just as Wang Mang was in high spirits, the crowd of geniuses outside the arena also fell into an uproar. Bai Zhitian was a peerless genius from a top family, and his strength was naturally not to be underestimated. Bai Zhitian's strength had even gained the recognition of many peerless geniuses in the same realm. But now, such a peerless genius had also fallen in the hands of Wang Mang. This also made the hearts of all the peerless geniuses present heavy. Wang Mang's strength was probably not far from being invincible in the same realm, right? This was the thought of many geniuses and peerless geniuses present. Among the crowd of geniuses, Tong Yin's pretty face was also filled with excitement, especially when she saw Wang Mang killing peerless geniuses one after another. She seemed to have seen the invincible Wang Mang in the Supreme Being's tomb secret realm again. If it weren't for the fact that she had to be reserved, she would have almost cheered for Wang Mang. At the same time, After calming down his excitement, Wang Mang immediately raised his head confidently and looked at the crowd of geniuses in the arena in the distance. He pretended to be calm and said, "Which other peerless genius is willing to fight with me in the same realm?" As soon as Wang Mang's voice fell, the entire arena fell silent. The crowd of peerless geniuses fell into silence. After all, they had all seen Wang Mang's combat strength. In the same realm, Wang Mang had already killed 14 peerless geniuses. No matter how they looked at Wang Mang, they couldn't deny that Wang Mang's strength was really very strong, and it was hard to find a match for him in the same realm. Therefore, there were no heaven's favorites who jumped out and confidently claimed they were going to kill Wang Mang. Because those who had the confidence to jump out and say that they wanted to kill Wang Mang and step on Wang Mang's head to make a name for themselves were basically all dead. Seeing that no legendary prodigy was willing to jump out, Wang Mang immediately felt that it was a pity. It was really as he had guessed. However, after he had killed a sufficient number of peerless geniuses, the number of existences that dared to fight with him at the same cultivation level was becoming fewer and fewer. Thinking till here, Wang Mang pretended to sigh helplessly. Could it be that none of the heaven's favorites here dares to fight me at the same level? Am I really that powerful? Have all of you been frightened by my strength? After Wang Mang's contemptuous and humiliating words came out of his mouth, the geniuses at the scene were startled. Especially the group of legendary geniuses. Because of Wang Mang's words, he was blatantly looking down on them. He did not take them seriously at all. In an instant, the faces of the legendary prodigies became even angrier. This guy is too arrogant. Does he really think we're afraid of him? Ha! He's just a petty person who got his way. He only killed a few legendary prodigies. Does he really think he's invincible? He has his reasons for being arrogant. His strength is definitely among those of the same cultivation level. Even among the legendary prodigies, he's definitely one of the strongest. In an instant, the legendary prodigies discussed fervently. Some were furious, some did not think much of it, and some were filled with murderous intent towards Wang Mang. At that moment, a gentle voice laughed. "Fellow cultivator, you've already killed so many. Can you fight with me at the same cultivation level now?" Hearing that, Wang Mang immediately turned to look at the Wulong Saint. He saw that the Wulong Saint was still looking at him with his hands behind his back and a smile. Wang Mang was dumbfounded. "I'm so powerful. Aren't you afraid of me? Didn't you see that I've already killed 14 legendary prodigies?" In an instant, the Wulong Saint's attitude made Wang Mang doubt his life. Logically speaking, the Wulong Saint should be afraid of him after seeing how powerful he was. At the very least, even if he was not afraid of him, shouldn't he be cautious? But what about this guy? His attitude towards him still hadn't changed? But why was this guy so confident? "I'm so powerful. Why are you so confident?" That was the question in Wang Mang's mind. However, for safety's sake, Wang Mang did not accept the Wulong Saint challenge. After all, he was very close to completing the mission. Once he completed the mission, Wang Mang could sit back and relax. By then, even if he had to fight to the death with the Wulong Saint, Wang Mang would still be extremely confident. It could even be said that he would be in an invincible position. However, in order to maintain his image, he could not lower his head. Therefore, Wang Mang pretended to be calm and smiled. "Fellow cultivator, why are you in such a hurry? Let's have another legendary prodigy fight with me. In the next battle, I like to see how powerful the Wulong Saint is." Hearing that, Ao Tianhen smiled and nodded. Clearly, he had agreed to Wang Mang's request. Seeing this scene, many supreme prodigies looked at Wang Mang with even more solemn gazes. That was because Wang Mang was not even afraid of the Wulong Saint. The pressure they felt from him was even stronger. Is there not a single legendary prodigy who dares to fight with me? That shouldn't be. Could it be that everyone here is so frightened by my strength that they don't dare to fight? That can't be right. Everyone here is a legendary prodigy, after all. Are you that unconfident in yourself? After Wang Mang's mockery, one of the legendary prodigies was finally enraged. Then let Lung Yi experience the power of the Holy Son of all demons. As soon as he said that, this legendary prodigy jumped onto the battlefield without hesitation. Then, Lung Yi looked coldly at Wang Mang and said coldly, "I'll fight with you at the same cultivation level. Do you agree?" Seeing this, Wang Mang was overjoyed. Then, Wang Mang smiled and nodded without hesitation. "I agree." In the next moment, the barrier was formed and the battle began. It was worth mentioning that Lung Ye's strength was not to be underestimated. Not only was he very powerful, but his combat strength was also very terrifying. Regardless of whether it was offensive, defensive, or spatial, they were all top-notch. He fought fiercely with Wang Mang for several hours, under the circumstances where he had no choice. In the end, Wang Mang could only use his primordial soul-type divine ability. After all, if Wang Mang did not use this primordial soul-type divine ability, he would not be able to defeat this guy. But at this moment, a deafening roar of anger was heard. "Holy Son of all demons, if you dare to kill the Yi family's prodigy, I will crush your bones and scatter your ashes." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately turned his head and saw a late-stage Sage Emperor Elder in the corner of the battlefield, staring at him coldly. Seeing this, Wang Mang immediately sneered. Then, under the Yi family elder's shocked and furious gaze, Wang Mang did not hesitate to use the devouring energy technique. In the next moment, Wang Mang's primordial spirit left his body and crashed into Lung Ye's body. Not only that, Wang Mang immediately went to Lung Ye's spiritual altar in his consciousness. Facing Lung Ye's shocked and furious primordial spirit, he rushed up like a lion and started to bite and devour it. Lung Yi was also bitten and devoured by Wang Mang's primordial spirit. In the end, his primordial spirit was completely devoured by Wang Mang. When Wang Mang's primordial spirit returned to his body, the system's voice also sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully killed a peerless genius." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 1 talent point." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully completed the mission." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 2 billion energy points." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal king-level blind box X1." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal king-level treasure box X1." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 talent points." "Ding! Accumulated talent points. You have met the promotion requirements. Do you want to be promoted to a prodigy?" Chapter 692. No! After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. However, Wang Mang did not immediately become a peerless prodigy. Why? Because Wang Mang had bigger plans, although he had completed his mission. But Wang Mang was jealous of the Sage Emperor mask. Next, if nothing went wrong, he would have to fight the Wulong Saint's son. At that time, no matter what trump cards the Wulong Saint's son had, if he could not defeat him, he could instantly become a peerless prodigy. This way, Wang Mang would be able to maximize his benefits. At that time, once he became a peerless prodigy, he would obtain the Sage Emperor mask and complete his mission. Wang Mang did not dare to imagine how much his strength would increase. Just thinking about it made Wang Mang excited. But at this moment, an angry roar could be heard. "Brat, how dare you kill my Yi clan's prodigy? This old man will definitely tear you to shreds." The person who said this was none other than the Yi clan's expert from before, a late-stage Sage Emperor Elder. At this moment, this late-stage Sage Emperor of the Yi clan was furious, and his face was extremely dark, because Wang Mang was too arrogant. He killed his Yi clan's prodigy right in front of him. He did not care about his words at all. At the same time, Wang Mang also turned around and saw the elder's face filled with killing intent. At first, Wang Mang did not think much of it and was prepared to challenge the Wulong Saint's son. But Wang Meng soon realized that something was wrong. Unknowingly, several dozen late-stage Saint Emperors had appeared in the arena. These late-stage Saint Emperors did not stand out in the crowd at all. If he did not feel the malicious and cold gazes, Wang Meng hadn't realized it yet. But before he knew it, the arena was already filled with killing intent. But after thinking about it seriously, Wang Meng understood. After all, he had killed too many peerless prodigies. This was a peerless genius, not a cabbage. These legendary geniuses were all legendary geniuses. They were all the treasures of first-rate or even super first-rate clans. Now that so many have been lost, there is no need to mention how furious these clans were. Otherwise, the late Saint Emperors of these clans would not have gathered so many of them. This was because a peerless genius would definitely become a late-stage Saint Emperor in the future. Because being a peerless genius meant that he had the chance to break through to the Emperor God level in the future. Therefore, a first-rate clan, or even a super first-rate clan, it was very difficult to nurture a peerless genius. Now, Wang Meng had gone crazy from all the killing. He had killed so many peerless geniuses in one go. How could these older generation experts not be enraged? Similarly, Wang Meng could also understand this logic. Thinking of this, Wang Meng sneered to himself. These guys obviously wanted to kill him. Even if he had the 10,000 Devil Holy Land behind him, this super first-rate Holy Land could not intimidate them. If Wang Meng had only killed a few peerless geniuses, perhaps he would be afraid of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. However, the problem was that Wang Meng had killed too many. These people were already furious, so they naturally did not have any scruples. No matter how powerful the 10,000 Devil Holy Land was, could it suppress 15 of them, who were at least clans? Moreover, among the 15 peerless geniuses that Wang Meng had killed, there were not only clans, but also candidates for the Saint of other super first-rate Holy Lands. In short, Wang Meng had killed 15 peerless geniuses in broad daylight, which had indeed made him famous. It would not be long before his name would resound throughout the Eastern Heaven Realm. The 10,000 Devil Holy Land naturally would not abandon him, but the premise was that he himself could not die. Otherwise, once he died, the 10,000 Devil Holy Land would not kill so many clans for him. Thinking of this, Wang Meng did not care at all. It would not be so easy for these old guys to kill him. However, at this moment, another cold and dignified voice rang out. "Wanamo brat, you killed my Gu family's peerless geniuses. My Gu family will not rest until you die." Hearing this, Wang Meng looked to the side. It was another white-robed elder in the late stage of Saint Emperor, who was looking at him coldly. Other than that, no other experts from other clans stood out. However, Wang Meng knew that there were definitely more than just these two clans who wanted to kill him. The others who did not stand out were probably waiting in the dark to kill him. At the same time, the other peerless geniuses had also discovered this problem. As for why they did not say anything, they did not have a good impression of Wang Meng to begin with. Moreover, Wang Meng had killed so many peerless geniuses, so his name would definitely spread far and wide. They did not have a good impression of Wang Meng anymore. Moreover, Wang Meng had humiliated them before. It would be strange if they had a good impression of Wang Meng. It could be said that if Wang Meng were to die, it would be something that they would be happy to see. Old fogey, if you're not convinced, you can come down and fight with me at the same cultivation level. I will kill all of you shameless old fogies on the spot. At this moment, Wang Meng suddenly spoke, and he spoke extremely arrogant words. His words instantly caused the entire arena to fall into silence. The group of peerless geniuses were all extremely shocked. They really did not know where Wang Meng got the guts to provoke a late-stage Saint Emperor. Similarly, after hearing Wang Meng's words, this late-stage Saint Emperor elder from the Yi family and the expert from the Gu family were so angry that their faces turned green. What made them feel even more embarrassed was facing Wang Meng's provocation. They really did not dare to reply, because they did not dare to fight with Wang Meng at the same cultivation level. After all, Wang Meng's strength was right in front of them. If they fought at the same cultivation level, Wang Meng could probably beat them as easily as beating up a child. Seeing the two old fogies' ugly expressions, Wang Meng had already expected it. He immediately laughed coldly in his heart. Then Wang Meng stood with his hands behind his back and said coldly, "Old fogies, you old fogies. You scoundrels and old dogs. If you don't dare, then shut your mouths. You very good." Facing Wang Meng's repeated insults, the two late-stage Saint Emperors were so angry that their bodies trembled. However, they had nothing to say. Seeing this scene, Wang Meng nodded in satisfaction. Then, the high-spirited Wang Meng looked at the Wulong Saint's son and chuckled. "Wulong Saint's son, if you still want to fight with me, then get on the battle stage." The current Wang Meng could be said to be extremely confident. Naturally, he was not worried that the Wulong Saint's son would defeat him. Because of this, Wang Meng was fearless and directly invited the Wulong Saint's son to fight. Moreover, the Wulong Saint's son was very interested in his immortal emperor mask. Wang Meng was well aware of this. However, wasn't the current Wang Meng the same? The Wulong Saint's son was interested in his immortal emperor mask. He was also interested in the Wulong Saint's son's immortal emperor mask. Chapter 693. Following Wang Meng's words, Wang Meng spoke. The prodigies in the huge arena were in an uproar. The hidden dragon Saint's son's strength was undeniable. He was able to gather so many prodigies. This also proved that the hidden dragon Saint's son's strength had gained the recognition of many prodigies in the Eastern Sky Realm. Otherwise, what right did he have to have such great rallying power? However, to the surprise of all the legendary geniuses had never expected that Wang Meng really did keep his word. After killing 15 prodigies, he directly challenged the hidden dragon Saint's son with an undefeatable aura. This caused the prodigies to start whispering among themselves. "You don't say. The Thousand Demons Saint's son is really gutsy. Isn't that obvious? This guy has a lot of tricks up his sleeves. His great mystique is all-encompassing. It's hard to find a match for him in the same realm. This is going to be interesting. I also want to see if the Thousand Demons Saint's son is strong enough to suppress the Hidden Dragon Saint's son. If he can really suppress the Hidden Dragon Saint's son, then the Thousand Demons Saint's son will definitely become a prodigy. That's impossible. It's not that easy for a prodigy to break through. Even the Hidden Dragon Saint's son hasn't become a prodigy." The Hidden Dragon Saint's son's expression did not change as the prodigies discussed. He still had a smile on his face as he looked at Wang Meng. His eyes were deep, as if he wanted to see through Wang Meng. The Hidden Dragon Saint's son wanted to know what this guy was planning. After all, Wang Meng had delayed his battle for so long. Yet this guy had killed so many prodigies. He had offended so many prodigies and their families. And now, he was directly inviting him to battle. Ao Tianhen was puzzled by Lin Fan's actions. Even now, he still did not understand Wang Meng's motive. Of course, even if he did not understand Wang Meng's motive. However, when faced with Wang Meng's invitation, when had he, Ao Tianhen, ever been afraid? In the face of absolute strength, all schemes were useless. In the end, under the gazes of countless sky prides and experts, Ao Tianhen smiled at Wang Meng and nodded, "All right." As soon as he finished speaking, Ao Tianhen leaped onto the battlefield. For a moment, the two of them looked at each other from afar, and their gazes became sharp. At this time, Ao Tianhen took out the Sage Emperor mask and put it on. He smiled at Wang Meng and said, "Do you agree to a battle at the same level?" Wang Meng nodded expressionlessly. "Agreed." As soon as he finished speaking, the barrier on the battlefield instantly took shape. At the same time, a powerful force suppressed Ao Tianhen's cultivation base to the same level as Wang Meng's. At the same time, the atmosphere in the arena exploded. All the young geniuses focused their attention on the battlefield. Because once the outcome of this battle was decided, it would basically be decided as the strongest peerless genius of the Eastern Heaven Realm. This was because the Hidden Dragon Saint was currently the strongest prodigy in the Eastern Heaven Realm. If Wang Mang defeated the Hidden Dragon Saint, he would naturally be the strongest peerless genius of the Eastern Heaven Realm. However, to the surprise of all the geniuses, the two of them did not start fighting directly. At this moment, Wang Mang could not help but chuckle. Does fellow Taoist Hidden Dragon, Saint Sun, still remember the grudge of my palm in the Supreme Tomb? Hearing this, the Hidden Dragon Saint chuckled. Looks like you still remember what happened in the Supreme Tomb so clearly. Yeah, what a pity. What a good opportunity. If it were not for the appearance of the God Emperor Mask and the Sage Emperor Mask in the Middle Heaven Realm, I would have taken the Sage Emperor Mask. Speaking up to here, Tianhen spoke with a regretful tone and could not help but sigh softly. After all, if he had taken down Wang Mang, it would have been easier for him to take the Sage Emperor Mask. If he had taken the Sage Emperor Mask, he might have gone to the Middle Heaven Realm. This was because the Middle Heaven Realm was where the geniuses gathered. In comparison, although the Eastern Heaven Realm was not bad, it was still a far cry from the Middle Heaven Realm. This was because most of the god emperors and countless geniuses were gathered in the Middle Heaven Realm. Most of the outstanding young geniuses had already gone to the Middle Heaven Realm. After hearing what the Hidden Dragon Saint said, Wang Mang sneered in his heart. Did this guy really think that he could kill him without the God Emperor and the Sage Emperor? That was obviously impossible. If he angered Wang Mang would kill him even if he had to pay the price. After all, Wang Mang had an extreme personality. If he did not have a good time, no one would have a good time. Therefore, Wang Mang said indifferently, "There's no point in talking anymore. Let's see who's stronger." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang attacked. In the next moment, Wang Mang made a hand seal and attacked with a top-tier grand mystique. Buddhist Kingdom in the palm. Then, a giant palm that covered the sky appeared and pressed down on Tianhen. Seeing this, Tianhen smiled faintly and formed a seal with his hands. Yin Yang's sun and moon. As soon as he finished speaking, the vast dermic powers around him formed a Tai Chi strange image behind him. However, this Tai Chi was formed by the sun and moon. Moreover, under the defense of Yin Yang, sun, and moon. Even Wang Mang's Buddhist Kingdom in the palm could not hurt him at all. Clearly, this was also a top-tier defensive grand mystique. Otherwise, it would not be able to block Wang Mang's grand mystique. At this moment, the Hidden Dragon Saint smiled and said, "Supreme sky trampling." As soon as he finished speaking, a giant figure was formed by vast dermic powers. This giant figure seemed to have materialized. It shot up into the sky and stepped on Wang Mang. Seeing this, Wang Mang's expression changed drastically. He could feel that this was also a top-tier offensive grand mystique. 10,000 Buddhas sitting. Without hesitation, Wang Mang made a hand seal and used his grand mystique. A giant Buddha figure appeared behind him. It looked down on everyone with a cold expression. Bang! The imposing figure immediately took a step forward. Unfortunately, this terrifying step did not cause the Buddha figure to dissipate. However, it did cause the Buddha figure to dim a little. Then, it was quickly solidified by Wang Mang's dermic powers. Then, the giant figure took a few more steps forward. Unfortunately, it still could not do anything to Wang Mang. Then, Wang Mang did not hesitate to use his top-tier grand mystique, 10,000 Buddha killing. 3,000 Buddha figures appeared behind him. They were all glaring at him with murderous intent. Kill. As soon as Wang Mang finished speaking, the 3,000 Buddha images covered the heavens and the earth as they charged out in unison, causing the entire arena to dim down along with this. Seeing this, Tianhen did not back down. He made a hand seal and shouted, "Supreme sky descends." As soon as he finished speaking, an illusory figure appeared in front of Tianhen. Facing the sky full of Buddha figures, this terrifying illusory figure raised his finger and pointed. Bang! 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 One by one, the Buddha figures exploded on the spot. In just a few moments, all the Buddha figures in the sky were destroyed by this illusory figure. I was born from the dust. I was invincible and called supreme. Demons worship me, and gods worship me. This majestic voice even caused the void to tremble. At the same time, the terrifying aura in the arena became stronger and stronger. Even Wang Mang felt a suffocating pressure. Under the pressure of this illusory figure, Wang Mang could not even move. Chapter 694. What made Wang Mang even more shocked was that the aura of this figure was clearly only at the third heaven of the Saint Emperor realm. However, it had the aura of a god emperor. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to suppress Wang Mang to the point where he couldn't even move. At this moment, Wang Mang finally knew the trump card of the hidden dragon physique. This guy's great divine ability was a summoning type great divine ability. Furthermore, the figure that the hidden dragon Saint Sun summoned was definitely extremely terrifying. In fact, Wang Mang's guess was right. When the hidden dragon Saint Sun saw the figure he summoned, even he himself was stunned, because he never thought that he would actually summon a fifth-stage sovereign figure. A fifth-stage sovereign figure. This was something he never expected. Furthermore, it was the projection of a fifth-order sovereign. It was still invincible at the third heaven of the Saint Emperor realm. Because a fifth-stage sovereign figure was still invincible at the third heaven of the Saint Emperor realm. This was also the reason why this figure was so terrifying. Thinking of this, Ao Tianhen couldn't help but laugh. Thousand demons Saint Sun, even the heavens want to kill you. Ever since I learned this divine ability, I have never summoned a sovereign figure before. Today, you've encountered it. Yes, Ao Tianhen wasn't lying. This was his first time summoning a sovereign figure. At this moment, he was simply invincible. This was because the Ji Zun's illusory figure that he had summoned was too powerful. Among the fifth stage, there had never been anyone who could fight against a sovereign. Even if it was just a figure, it wasn't something that Wang Mang could fight against. Because of this, if Wang Mang wasn't going to die, then what was? Hearing this, Wang Mang's expression became extremely ugly. Under this terrifying pressure, he indeed felt that it was extremely difficult for him to even move, let alone retaliate. In his shock and anger, Wang Mang started to panic, because this aura was too powerful, so powerful that he couldn't fight against it at all. It was clearly just a third heaven of the Saint Emperor realm, but its aura was already no different from a god emperor. This proved that this figure had the strength of a god emperor. He then thought of the hidden dragon Saint Sun's words. Wang Mang wanted to die. Isn't this 2F** king unlucky? This was the first time this fellow had summoned the Supreme Being's phantom. Furthermore, coincidentally, he bumped into it again. Right at this moment, bang! A loud sound rang out. The barrier on the battlefield could not withstand the pressure and completely exploded. A terrifying aura swept out, causing the entire hidden dragon city to ripple outwards like a terrifying storm. Boom, boom, boom. Wherever this terrifying aura swept out, it was all a mess. Even the sky had turned pitch black, and the wind and clouds were surging. At the same time, the entire arena retreated in fear. Similarly, everyone was in an uproar. Thus, his gaze was fixed on the imposing figure in the wrestling ring. Their eyes were filled with fear and awe, because it had been too long since a supreme martial artist had appeared, let alone rank 5 supreme beings in the sacred Emperor continent. Even a tier 5 mythical prodigy had not appeared for a long time. But now a supreme being's phantom had been summoned. In an instant, discussions broke out everywhere. Is this a rank 5 supreme being? Too powerful. Even the enchantment set up by a god emperor expert was destroyed. Oh my god, just as aura alone has reached the god emperor level? This is too scary. How are we going to fight him? The 1,000 demons Saint Sun is definitely going to die. Is this a supreme being? Just as aura alone is suffocating. Even a god emperor expert is not this terrifying, right? It was clear that everyone was intimidated by this supreme being's projection. Similarly, the hidden dragon Saint Sun who had summoned the supreme being's phantom was also staring at it, because he was still too far away from becoming a rank 5 supreme being. At the same time, Wang Mang's face was also filled with reluctance, especially when this supreme being was walking towards him. Wang Mang felt as if his entire body was being cut by knives. The terrifying aura was about to crush his body. In fact, Wang Mang even suspected that if this supreme being's phantom got any closer, he would explode and die before he could do anything. Therefore, Wang Mang only had 2 choices in front of him. He could either use the wrath of the divine demon to fight this supreme being's phantom, or he could run away immediately. It was impossible to use the wrath of the divine demon. Once he used the wrath of the divine demon, the price Wang Mang had to pay was too high. He had to become a god emperor. In other words, he had to increase his cultivation by at least 10 small realms. Otherwise, he would not be able to fight against this supreme being's phantom. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was ready to give up, because it was not worth it to use the wrath of the divine demon. In the next moment, Wang Mang muttered in his heart, and the 5-color teleportation stone appeared in his hand. Just as Wang Mang was about to use the 5-color teleportation stone to run away, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. The host's current situation has been detected. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission number 1. Facing the Supreme Being's phantom. Choose to temporarily avoid it. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 500 million energy points. Advanced blind box, X1. Mission number 2. Facing the Supreme Being's phantom. Choose to fight it. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 1 billion energy points. Celestial treasure, chest, X1. Mission number 3. Facing the Supreme Being's phantom. Defeat it and disperse it. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. Stage 5 Supreme Being's experience card X1. 1 billion energy points. Celestial King treasure, chest, X1. Celestial King blind box, X1. Talent points, 10. Note: choosing will give priority to the mission reward. If the host is unable to complete the mission, the punishment of the reward will be doubled. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned. The appearance of this quest was way too sudden. The most important thing was that the system actually encouraged him to fight with the Supreme Being's phantom. Wang Mang estimated that the strength of this Supreme Being's phantom should be at the 4th heaven of the Emperor God Realm. 4th heaven of the Emperor God Realm. This was equivalent to the 4th heaven of the Sage Realm. In the end, the system actually encouraged him to fight with the Sage. This system thought too highly of him, didn't it? But the only thing that made Wang Mang's eyes light up was the reward was also very generous. Not to mention the 1st and 2nd missions. But the reward for the 3rd mission was really generous. Stage 5 Supreme Being's experience card. Didn't this mean that after using the Supreme Being's experience card, he could also have the strength of a Stage 5 Supreme Being? And the system still gave him the reward first, letting him fight with this Supreme Being's phantom first? This could be said to be a sure win. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's eyes lit up, and he was somewhat tempted. The next moment, Wang Mang made a decision in his heart. Once he used the Stage 5 Supreme Being's experience card, at that time, he would definitely have the combat strength of a Supreme Being. In a situation where everyone had the combat strength of a Supreme Being. So what if the other party was a Supreme Being's phantom? Who's afraid of who? I'll just do it. Thinking of this, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, System, I choose the 3rd mission. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully selected the mission. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Obtained 1 billion energy values. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Obtained Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Obtained Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Obtain Stage 5 Supreme Being's Experience card. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Obtain 10 talent values. Ding! Accumulate to meet the evolution conditions. Do you want to start evolution? Chapter 695. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. There was no need to say anything. After this battle, he could break through again. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but be excited. No matter what, he couldn't lose this battle. Besides, so what if it was a Supreme? He also had a Supreme Experience card. Moreover, the opponent was just a Supreme's illusory figure. It wasn't a true 5th stage Supreme. Therefore, Wang Mang naturally wasn't convinced. They were at the same level, the same Heaven's Pride realm. Let's fight. Who's afraid of who? Thinking of this, Wang Mang raised his head and looked at the Supreme's illusory figure that was gradually approaching. Then, without hesitation, he said in his heart, System, using the 5th stage Supreme Experience card. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully used the Supreme Experience card. As soon as the system's voice ended, Wang Mang felt a majestic power surging out from his body. Then, Wang Mang's aura also surged crazily. Peak of the 3rd heaven of Saint Emperor. Peak of the 4th heaven of Saint Emperor. Peak of the 5th heaven of Saint Emperor. Peak of the 8th heaven of Saint Emperor. Peak of the 9th heaven of Saint Emperor. Peak of the 1st heaven of God Emperor. Peak of the 2nd heaven of God Emperor. Peak of the 3rd heaven of God Emperor. When Wang Mang's aura rose to the peak of the 3rd heaven of God Emperor, Wang Mang's strength then stopped rising. At the same time, the illusory figure that was walking towards Wang Mang paused slightly and then stopped. This illusory figure, whose face couldn't be seen, clearly was looking at Wang Mang from afar, as if it had intelligence. He was sizing up Wang Mang. The terrifying Supreme's aura surged, and the two's auras collided. If someone observed carefully, they would notice that the auras of Wang Mang and the Supreme's illusory figure, with the arena as the center, each of their auras was dominating one side. At the same time, the battle stage of the arena between Wang Mang and the illusory figure completely cracked open a deep abyss. At the same time, behind the illusory figure of the sovereign, the hidden dragon saint was even more shocked. He didn't expect that he would have such a heaven-defying trump card. It could actually increase his strength to the God Emperor realm in an instant. Not only that, the tyrannical and invincible aura on Wang Mang's body was clearly the aura unique to the 5th-ranked sovereign's phantom. Could this fellow be a 5th-order sovereign? An absurd thought popped up in his mind. However, this absurd idea was quickly rejected by the hidden dragon saint. If Wang Mang was really a 5th-stage sovereign, why would he bother with a peerless genius like him? That's right, no one knew that the hidden dragon saint's son was actually a supreme prodigy. It was just that he had always presented himself as one. In fact, no one knew that he was actually a peerless genius who had been hiding his strength all this time. This was also why he was confident that he could suppress Wang Mang. Strength was his greatest trump card. The summoning of the sovereign's phantom this time was a complete accident. But what made him feel even more incredulous was Wang Mang's trump card had completely overturned his understanding. He could actually forcefully raise a prodigy's level to the 5th-ranked sovereign level. For a moment, the hidden dragon saint's son was shocked by Wang Mang's strange method. He stared at Wang Mang, who was standing proudly in the air with his black aura covering the entire sky. At that moment, Wang Mang, with the support of his terrifying power, could even make the space of the sacred emperor continent cry out in pain. In other words, Wang Mang could clearly feel it. The space of the sacred emperor continent wasn't that sturdy. In his eyes, it was just like a wall. Even if he wanted to break open the space of the sacred emperor continent, Wang Mang could do it, and it wouldn't be too difficult. That was because the current Wang Mang's body contained a terrifying power. This power was too terrifying and powerful. It was a power that Wang Mang had never experienced before. With his power, Wang Mang could easily destroy the world. But Wang Mang could clearly feel that his cultivation level hadn't changed. This was merely the terrifying boost brought to him by the rank 5 Supreme Experience card. Therefore, while the 5th rank Supreme Experience card was active, he was a Supreme of the 5th rank. Is this the power of a 5th rank sovereign? I feel like nothing in this world can stop me. At that moment, Wang Mang, who had undergone a drastic change, couldn't help but mumble to himself. Right now, his entire body was shrouded in a black aura that was as terrifying as astral energy. The phenomenon that covered the sky and the sun was also caused by him. The prodigies who were watching from afar, as well as the experts who had rushed over after hearing the news. At that moment, they were all shocked as their gazes gathered on the two figures. Many of the prodigies couldn't help but become restless. Oh my God, what kind of technique is this? This is too terrifying. Is this the holy son of all demons technique? A technique that can make one reach the 5th rank sovereign level. If he can use it frequently, who would be his match? Impossible. If he can use it without any restrictions and without paying a price, he wouldn't have taken it out only now. That's right. Such a powerful technique must have a terrifying price to pay. Otherwise, wouldn't he be invincible? Clearly, many of the prodigies had already guessed that Wang Mang would have to pay a heavy price for using such a heaven-defying technique. Otherwise, what was the point of cultivating? If he could use it without any restrictions, Wang Mang would probably have dominated the Sacred Emperor continent long ago. It had to be said that their guesses were reasonable and well-founded. Although they knew that such a heaven-defying technique had its drawbacks, however, this did not stop everyone from being indescribably shocked by Wang Mang. Even the experts from the various clans who were planning to assassinate Wang Mang. After seeing Wang Mang's heaven-defying technique, they were so scared that their faces turned pale. Many of the old experts from the various clans were secretly relieved that they hadn't been in a hurry to kill Wang Mang. Otherwise, they would have been dead by now. Currently, Wang Mang's terrifying aura was the battle strength of a god emperor. It was as easy as killing an ant for him to suppress a sacred emperor. Of course, although they were shocked by Wang Mang's current strength, they still didn't think so. They still didn't think that Wang Mang could defeat the illusion of a sovereign. After all, although the illusion of a sovereign was just an illusion, it was still the illusion of sovereign. But what about Wang Mang? He had only used some unknown heaven-defying technique to forcefully raise his cultivation to the sovereign level. But how powerful were the abilities of sovereign? How could it be so easily mastered? This was the thought of many experts present. It was also the reason why they didn't think highly of Wang Mang. Of course, under the circumstances where no one thought highly of Wang Mang, only one person still thought highly of Wang Mang. This person was none other than Tong Yin, who was among the crowd. She saw that Wang Mang's strength had reached the God Emperor level in one go, and that he was surrounded by the aura of a sovereign. Tong Yin's beautiful eyes were fixed on Wang Mang. She was full of confidence in Wang Mang. She believed that Wang Mang could definitely defeat the illusion of sovereign. Chapter 696. Under everyone's gaze. Wang Mang was also staring at this guy. But Wang Mang didn't hesitate and directly attacked. After all, Wang Mang didn't know how long his 5th stage Supreme Exalted card would last. So, Wang Mang took the initiative to attack first. As Wang Mang formed various hand seals, the magic power around him that was as vast as the ocean began to condense. In the blink of an eye, a giant hand that covered the sky grabbed at the supreme illusion. Buddhist kingdom in the palm. Yes, Wang Mang used a top grand magic right away. But what made Wang Mang stunned was facing his Buddhist kingdom in the palm that covered the sky. This supreme being, illusionary shadow, still slightly raised his finger and pointed. Bang! A terrifying sword finger shot out in an instant. This inconspicuous sword finger instantly pierced through the Buddhist kingdom in the palm. Furthermore, a terrifyingly sharp sword aura swept out in all directions. Obviously, it was just a single exchange of blows. Wang Mang was able to see the difference between him and this supreme being's phantom. Even if the other party was a supreme illusion, it was still not something that Wang Mang, a fake, could compare to. His methods were simply miraculous. Take this sword finger, for example. To Wang Mang, it felt like an ordinary attack. But when it was used by the supreme illusion, it was so terrifying. It was even more terrifying than a top grand magic. Just when Wang Mang was shocked, the supreme being's illusory figure suddenly chuckled. You just forcibly raise yourself to the supreme illusion. Do you know what a supreme illusion is? A supreme illusion is endless battle experience, heaven-defying killing, invincible in the world, suppressing thousands of worlds, and is the highest profound of rank 5. It's a pity that you don't understand these. Do you think that you can compete with me just because you have the power of a supreme illusion? Do you know how many rank 5 heaven's prides have died in my hands? I can't remember. In the thousands of worlds among the rank 5, no one can compete with me. Rank 5, I am invincible. I'm God. Hearing this, Wang Mang's face darkened, although he couldn't understand what this guy was talking about. However, Wang Mang could hear the mockery in this guy's tone. This kind of nonchalant attitude was not just showing off, it made Wang Mang extremely angry. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately roared angrily. What supreme being? That's all nonsense. Brute force can break all techniques. Now that I'm not any weaker than you, do you think you can suppress me? As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang made another hand seal and performed a top-notch great technique. 10,000 Buddhas slaughter. In the blink of an eye, Wang Mang was surrounded by a ferocious black aura. The number of gods and Buddhas was exactly 3,000. Every single one of them was filled with hatred and malevolence. Kill! Wang Mang pointed a finger and shouted in a low voice. In the next moment, the 3,000 demonic Buddhas whizzed out. It caused the sky above Wulong City to be filled with dark clouds, as if it was the end of the world. At the same time, the 3,000 Buddha shadows all charged towards the Supreme Being's shadow. Unfortunately, the result of this great technique's attack disappointed Wang Mang greatly. There was no other reason. After the 3,000 Buddha shadows attacked, the Supreme Being's shadow merely waved his hand, and a vast amount of dharmic powers swept out, causing the Buddha shadows to vanish into thin air. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions were heard. The 3,000 Buddha shadows collapsed one after another. Then, the illusionary figure of the 9 Heaven Supremes spoke again. Show me what else you have. Let me see where your endpoint is. This high and mighty voice that seemed to be looking down on all living things was particularly harsh to Wang Mang. For a moment, Wang Mang was so angry that his face turned red. He was rather angry out of humiliation. This was because the techniques he used with all his might were not effective against this shadow at all. However, Wang Mang's most effective attack was actually the 10,000 Buddha slaughter. As for ordinary divine abilities, Wang Mang could not use them at all. Ordinary divine abilities could not cause any harm to this fellow. After all, even Wang Mang's top divine abilities could not cause any harm to this Supreme Being's shadow after he used them. Therefore, Wang Mang really did not have any means to attack. As for the devouring energy technique, this divine ability was completely useless. After all, this Supreme Being's shadow did not have a primordial spirit. Moreover, Wang Mang realized something even more embarrassing. He had already used all the techniques he could. However, this Supreme Being's shadow did not attack him at all. In other words, the battle had just begun, but Wang Mang was already done. At this thought, Wang Mang knew that it was not possible for him to defeat this fellow. On the contrary, Wang Mang could only wait until the opponent's shadow dissipated. After all, Wang Mang had a premonition that he would not be able to defeat the opponent in a head-on battle. Just as Wang Mang was pondering in his heart, the Supreme Being's shadow let out a hearty laugh. It seems that you are already at your wit's end. After saying that, the Supreme Being's shadow raised his hand and pointed at Wang Mang from afar. In the next moment, A vast sea of magical power started to condense towards the Supreme Being's shadow. In the blink of an eye, a terrifying sword aura whizzed towards Wang Mang. Moreover, just the aura that this terrifying sword aura carried was enough to cause the entire battle arena to explode. Seeing this earth-shattering scene, Wang Mang's expression changed greatly. He quickly formed a seal with both hands and shouted angrily, 10,000 Buddhas, ancient sitting. In the next moment, the terrifying magical power around Wang Mang condensed into a majestic black Buddha's shadow behind him. Moreover, as Wang Mang's magical power surged into it, the Buddha's shadow became even more solid. Bang! In the next moment, the terrifying sword aura had already arrived. The 10,000 Buddhas ancient sitting that Wang Mang had condensed with all his might was pierced through by the sword aura. Bang! The Buddha's shadow turned into chaotic magical power and wreaked havoc along with the unparalleled sword aura. Everywhere it passed, it was a scene of devastation. The entire battle arena had already been reduced to rubble. Some unlucky sky prides were unable to dodge in time and were killed on the spot by the terrifying sword aura. Not only that, there were even sage emperors who were unable to dodge in time and were killed on the spot. One could only imagine how terrifying the battle arena was. This was the Wulong saint who had summoned the Supreme Being's shadow. He had already flown far away to hide. This was because the battle was no longer something he could interfere with. At the same time, under the terrifying earlier stage, Wang Mang was even sent flying, smashing heavily into a pile of ruins. However, in the next moment, Wang Mang rushed out of the rubble. His hair was disheveled, and he looked extremely haggard. Wang Mang even felt that his life was in danger from the previous attack. Fortunately, what made Wang Mang heave a sigh of relief was that he didn't die. Clearly, although he was not a true fifth-stage sovereign, he had the strength of a fifth-stage sovereign. Therefore, it was naturally impossible for him to be killed in an instant. Even if the Supreme Being's shadow attacked with all its might, it would not be able to kill Wang Mang in an instant. However, just the power of this attack alone made Wang Mang's scalp tingle. In fact, Wang Mang did not even dare to imagine how powerful this Supreme Being was. This was only the Supreme Being's shadow. At the same level, they were both below the Supreme Being level. It was so powerful that it made one despair. Wang Mang could not fight back at all. Chapter 697. If it was a living supreme martial artist, Wang Mang even estimated that he might be killed instantly. One must know that Wang Mang was also a supreme martial artist now, although he was only a supreme martial artist experience card. But this was still a well-deserved supreme martial artist. In the end, he couldn't even fight against a virtual shadow. No, he simply didn't have the strength to fight back at all, because at this moment, the virtual shadow of the supreme martial artist attacked again. He saw that the virtual shadow still repeated the same trick and slowly raised his finger. Then, he pointed at Wang Mang from afar. Then, the vast magic power condensed at his fingertips again. But just this move alone scared Wang Mang so much that his scalp went numb, as if he was facing a great enemy. Then, Wang Mang hurriedly made a gesture with both hands and once again braced himself to perform the 1,000 Buddha sitting. Moreover, Wang Mang simply didn't hold back to perform the 1,000 Buddha sitting, because other than this top-notch defensive great magic, Wang Mang didn't have anything else. He simply didn't have any other moves to fight against the other party. Moreover, Wang Mang's 10,000-seated Buddhas could only barely block it. At the same time, when the virtual shadow of the supreme martial artist saw Wang Mang perform the defensive magic again, he couldn't help but let out a hearty chuckle. Do you know why I didn't perform the magic? Because you don't even have the qualifications to make me use the magic. As soon as he finished speaking, the sword aura at the virtual shadow's fingertips swept out. Wang Mang, who was furious, was even angrier by this virtual shadow of the supreme martial artist. To be honest, Wang Mang even had the thought of performing the wrath of the gods and demons. because this guy was simply too humiliating. In any case, he was a supreme being now. In the end, this guy was just a virtual shadow. In the end, he actually said that he didn't have the qualifications to make him use the magic. This was simply more humiliating than humiliation. In the next moment, Wang Meng didn't have time to continue being angry. Then, he was drowned by this terrifying sword finger. Rumble. An earth-shattering sound was heard. The terrifying Buddha shadow that Wang Meng condensed to defend was shattered again. Moreover, it was even more straightforward than the last time. Not only did Wang Meng's Buddha image dissipate in a magic power, but he was also pierced through on the spot by the frighteningly vast magic power sword chi. Slowly lowering his head, Wang Meng, with disheveled hair, looked at his chest was pierced through. His face was full of astonishment. He could feel the intense pain in his chest, as if the wound was burning. Fortunately, Wang Meng was also a supreme now. Therefore, the wounds can be can, as can cans art. Cans with the cans can martial artist God. Can God? Martial God seeing this. Wang Meng's expression turned ugly. He simply chose to dodge. This was because the power of this giant palm was several times more terrifying than the sword finger. If he took it head-on, Wang Meng had no doubt that he would be killed on the spot. Therefore, Wang Meng chose to dodge. Rumble. Wherever the giant palm landed, even space was distorted. Seeing this scene, Wang Meng's face turned even uglier. He wasn't wrong. This supreme being's silhouette clearly wanted to kill him. Without waiting for Wang Meng to think any further, the sovereign phantom attacked again. Rather than calling this battle a battle, it was more like a game of cat and mouse. Because throughout the entire battle, Wang Meng was the one who ran everywhere, not daring to fight head-on. Not only that, these 2 hours of battle had also caused Wang Meng to break down. To be honest, he didn't know how many times he had been injured, and there were dozens of times where he almost died. It could be said that this was definitely the most torturous battle that Wang Meng had ever experienced in his entire life. After fighting for so long, his little heart had been trembling, and he was on tenterhooks, because he really couldn't defeat this supreme being's silhouette. This supreme being's silhouette was so powerful that it made people feel hopeless. It was so powerful that Wang Meng was sincerely convinced, and there was nothing he could do. Just as Wang Meng was prepared to defend himself against the supreme being's silhouette's attack, something that made Wang Meng wild with joy happened. He realized that this supreme being's silhouette was gradually dissipating. Seeing this, Wang Meng almost couldn't hold back his tears. At the same time, this supreme being's silhouette also let out a playful laugh. "Little ant, you made me feel good, so I won't kill you. Supreme being is time, space, and time. Even they can't completely erase you." After saying this supreme being's silhouette turned into light and disappeared. Seeing this, Wang Meng's face was filled with complicated emotions, and he felt helpless. Good fellow. So he made the other party feel good, and they had been playing cat and mouse for so long. So this supreme being's silhouette let him go? Thinking of this, Wang Meng felt extremely sullen, but at least he managed to keep his life. This also made Wang Meng heave a sigh of relief. At the same time, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Mission completed. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Meng finally regained his senses. Then, Wang Meng looked into the distance, searching for the Wulong Saint Sun's figure. But after a glance, Wang Meng was completely dumbfounded. Where was the Wulong Saint Sun? He still didn't know when that guy had run away. It could be said that those who were watching were all immortal emperors and sage emperors. As for those who wanted to kill Wang Meng, or those who wanted to ambush Wang Meng, they had all disappeared. Wang Meng wasn't surprised at all. It was likely that these fellows were all scared away after seeing his terrifying strength. But at this moment, Wang Meng felt two gazes looking at him from afar. When Wang Meng raised his head, he saw two figures staring at him from the sky. These two figures were both old men. They looked very dignified, and their eyes were as deep as an ancient well. Moreover, Judging from the remaining power that they exuded, the two of them were definitely Emperor God level experts. But so what if they were God Emperors? He was also a God Emperor now, so Wang Mang wasn't afraid at all. But in the next moment, Wang Mang suddenly realized something was wrong, because he realized that his strength was rapidly disappearing. This was obviously because the Supreme Experience card was about to run out. With that thought, Wang Mang's figure moved and disappeared from Hidden Dragon City. When Wang Mang appeared again, he was already in a barren mountain range. At the same time, Wang Mang's cultivation level had already fallen back to its original level. It was worth mentioning. This was the Supreme Experience card. After using it, there were no side effects at all. This allowed Wang Mang to heave a sigh of relief. Then, he found a cave in the nearby mountain range and couldn't wait to enter it. Because Wang Mang couldn't wait to sort out his gains this time, it could be said that other than not getting the Sage Emperor mask, he was unimaginably rich. Chapter 698. Moreover, Wang Mang had a hunch that after sorting out the gains, his strength would definitely increase greatly. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but look forward to it even more. Then, he silently said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." As soon as he said that, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of the Sage-to-be, holy son of all demons. Type, Void Python. Limit 700 meters. Realm, 8th Heaven of the Immortal Emperor, Legendary Prodigy. Physique, HP 18,000. Length 675 meters. Width 32 meters. Weight 40 million tons. Ordinary supernatural powers. Hand of the Void, Blade of the Void, Void Escape, one step to the end of the world, myriad changes. Top supernatural powers. Devouring Divine Art, Perfection. 3 lives Supreme Buddha, Mastery. Hongjun, 3 corpses, none. Wrath of the Gods and Demons, Perfection. Space, 1 bottle of Oblivion Water, 1 Falling Saint Pill, 1 6 Flavor Emperor Pill, rank 5 Abyss Summon Card. Equipment, Top World Multicolored Stone, X1. Divine Martial Sword, Immortal Emperor Mask, Talent 50. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X2. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X2. Energy Value, 3.05 billion/3 billion. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang was even more elated. This energy value was enough for him to evolve once. Other than that, he still had 50 talent value. There were also 2 Immortal King Grade Treasure Chests and a blind box. At the very least, he could gather another few billion energy value. In other words, Wang Mang even had a chance to break through to the Holy Emperor realm. Once Wang Mang broke through to the Holy Emperor realm, with the support of the Immortal Emperor Mask and a Legendary Prodigy, Wang Mang's combat power was absolutely terrifying. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly became excited. Then, Wang Mang silently said in his heart without hesitation, "System, open the Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 50 million energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 400 million energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 3 talent points." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 2 talent points." Ding. "Congratulations, host. You have successfully gained 5 talent points." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal grade magic weapon." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was elated. This time, just the energy value alone was 1.45 billion for him. More importantly, it actually gave him 10 points of innate talent. His talent was worth it. This thing is good stuff. It could increase one's aptitude. Now, Wang Mang could become a peerless genius. However, if one wanted to become an even stronger peerless genius, the talent value needed was even more terrifying. Right now, Wang Mang was already a peerless prodigy. If he wanted to become a peerless prodigy, he would need to spend 30 talent points. After he became a peerless genius, the amount of talent he needed to become a peerless genius would be even more terrifying. To become a peerless genius, he only needed 30 talent points. However, to become a peerless genius, he would need to spend 150 talent points. Even if he were to kill a peerless genius, who knew how many of them he would have to kill? Because of this, the talent points were definitely very important to Wang Mang in the future. Because Wang Mang had learned from the system, not only were there stage 5 prodigies, even stage 6 was a peerless genius. Therefore, the talent points would be something that Wang Mang would need to obtain for a long time in the future. In a good mood, Wang Mang once again said in his heart, "System, continue to open the immortal king treasure chest." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the immortal king treasure chest." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 200 million energy values." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 300 million energy values." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 1 billion energy values." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a set of Tong Nian original lingerie." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a set of the Hidden Dragon Saints cultivation experience." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a set of the cultivation experience of a legendary prodigy." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 talent points." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained a stage 5 dual cultivation cauldron cultivation technique from Patriarch Acacia." After listening to the rewards of the Immortal King treasure chest, Wang Mang was speechless. But the rewards did not disappoint Wang Mang. It also gave him 5 billion energy values and 10 talent points. But there were also some trash. For example, the Hidden Dragon Saint cultivation experience. What use was he? But the cultivation experience of this stage 5 legendary prodigy was of some use to Wang Mang. Therefore, as Wang Mang silently said in his heart, the sea of cultivation experience immediately poured into Wang Mang's mind. Stage 5 legendary prodigies experience. If you want to become a more powerful prodigy, you have to kill other prodigies and plunder their talents. But after plundering a certain amount, you can become a more powerful prodigy. This was the cultivation experience of this stage 5 legendary prodigy. The general meaning was that if you want to become stronger, you have to kill many prodigies to help yourself. But Wang Mang already knew this answer. But what surprised Wang Mang was that it seemed that after becoming a legendary prodigy, these sky prides basically already knew how to advance to the next level. But after Wang Mang thought about it carefully, he came to an understanding. After all, if they could become a legendary prodigy, even if they were stupid, they would understand this principle. This was because the conditions for the stronger prodigies to become stronger were simply too cruel. It was to hunt prodigies, kill each other, and plunder each other's talents. In the end, they could become the supreme prodigy of the same realm. Of course, Wang Mang was still confident in himself. After all, he was a man with a system. There was also a heaven-defying method, which was the wrath of the gods and demons. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. Then, Wang Mang prepared to continue opening the blind box. Because Wang Mang had a hunch that the energy value needed to break through from the Immortal Emperor to the Sage Emperor would definitely not only increase by a little. Even though he had already accumulated 6 billion energy value, Wang Mang was not sure if he could advance to the Sage Emperor in one go. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, open the Immortal King level blind box." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. successfully opened the Immortal King level blind box. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 1 billion energy value. After listening to the first prize, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. Not bad. Not bad at all. This Immortal King level blind box did not disappoint him. The first prize was 1 billion energy value. For a moment, Wang Mang began to look forward to the next prize. A minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained. Chapter 699. A minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values. Wang Mang nodded to himself. The reward this time was not bad. He had only opened 2 prizes, and it was already a lot of energy values compared to the Immortal King level treasure chest. At this time, another minute had passed. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. 500 million energy values. After hearing the third prize, Wang Mang nodded to himself. Now, he had accumulated 8 billion energy values. Even if Wang Mang advanced to the 9th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm, he would still have 5 billion energy values left. It should not be too far off. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's mood became even happier. A minute later, the system's voice sounded for the 4th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. Another 500 million energy values. He had already opened 500 million energy values 3 times in a row. If he continued to open the prize and got 500 million energy values each time, Wang Mang would not mind. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the 5th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values. After listening to the system's 5th prize, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. Awesome. He had opened 500 million energy values 4 times in a row, adding on 1 billion energy values. It could be said that this Immortal King level blind box, it had already opened 3 billion energy values. This made Wang Mang's heart blossom with joy and anger, because now he had accumulated 9 billion energy values. He was 1 step closer to the Holy Emperor level. Just as Wang Mang was in high spirits, the system's voice sounded for the 6th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a cultivation manual of a Heaven Immortal level expert. Wang Mang had already expected this. No matter how powerful this Immortal King grade blind box was, it couldn't possibly give him all the good stuff all the time. What's more, he had already opened 3 billion energy points. Now, he had gotten 1 or 2 trashy items. What's more, all of them were trash. Wang Mang could actually accept it. Right at this moment, another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the 7th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained the cultivation experience of an immortal emperor. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was also speechless, but he had already expected this. Moreover, this Immortal King grade blind box had already opened 3 billion energy values. Wang Mang could be considered satisfied. Right at this moment, 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the 8th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 1 billion energy points. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned. He thought that the lottery would only be opened 7 times at most. Who would have thought that the prize would be given out 8 times? Moreover, the last time he opened the lottery, he even opened 1 billion energy values. This also allowed Wang Mang's accumulation to reach 10 billion energy values. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but mutter excitedly, F***CK, 10 billion energy value should be enough to advance to the Holy Emperor level, right? Although Wang Mang felt that it should be about enough. But Wang Mang was still not sure if it was enough. Therefore, Wang Mang took a deep breath and said in his heart, System, Open the Immortal King grade blind box again. The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King grade blind box. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 200 million energy values. Damn! Only 200 million? After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang couldn't help but frown slightly. 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 800 million energy values. Hearing the system's second lottery, Wang Mang heaved a sigh of relief. Not bad. At this moment, the system's voice sounded for the third time. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values. Wang Mang, who nodded secretly, continued to look forward to the next lottery. Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the fourth time. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 500 million energy values. Not bad, not bad. It would be best if it was the next lottery. Give him a few billion energy values. Of course, Wang Mang also hoped that it would be best if he could get as much as possible, or he could give him some innate talent value. Compared to energy values, Wang Mang preferred talent values. At this moment, Wang Mang was looking forward to it happily. 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the fifth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 1 billion energy values. After hearing the system's announcement, Wang Mang was even happier. 13 billion energy values should be enough to advance to the Holy Emperor level, right? According to Wang Mang's guess, the energy values should be enough. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the sixth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained an immortal level ox demon. What the hell? What's the use of giving me an immortal level ox demon? Even if I eat it, it won't be enough to fill my teeth. After hearing the announcement, Wang Mang was speechless. It was worth mentioning. Now, the second Immortal King level blind box had already obtained 3 billion energy values. Wang Mang couldn't say that this Immortal King level blind box was bad. Therefore, so be it. Wang Mang had already expected it. Even if the following prizes were all rubbish, Wang Mang didn't care. 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the sixth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained the Wulong Saints original underwear. This time, the announcement completely stunned Wang Mang. In the past, when the lottery was opened, there was also an underwear series. Wang Mang had always been used to it. But this time, there was actually an underwear series for men. This was too melodramatic. Was this trying to change his sexual orientation? In the past, it was still an underwear for women. But now, it directly gave him male underwear. This simply made Wang Mang speechless. But just as Wang Mang was feeling depressed, 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the seventh time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained the Divine Light Saints original underwear. Ding! The current accumulation has met the evolution conditions. Do you want to start evolution? No. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was instantly speechless. It was true that the last few prizes were all trash. It was exactly the same as the previous Immortal King level blind box. The two Immortal King level blind boxes both started with fierce rewards, but ended with a strong start and a weak finish. However, Wang Mang basically didn't care anymore. Currently, his accumulated energy value had already reached 13 billion energy value. It should be enough for him to break through to the Holy Emperor realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's mood was quite good. Then, Wang Mang took a deep breath and said in his heart, "System, start evolution." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny face ding. Successfully deducted 3 billion energy values. Beginning evolution. Then, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness during evolution. Chapter 700. Half a month later. Only then did Wang Mang slowly awaken from his evolution. After waking up, Wang Mang was able to sense that his body was filled with a terrifyingly enormous power. Is this the power of a holy emperor? At this moment, Wang Mang couldn't help but look at himself with a shocked face. He could feel the explosive and vast magic power with every move he made. At the same time, Wang Mang's body also exuded a sacred and pure feeling. Apart from that, Wang Mang's breaths were filled with boundless and incomparably pure mana. In addition, Wang Mang felt the most obvious thing. Every pore in his body could store and circulate the magic power of the vast sea. It could be said that his current body was much more powerful than the body he had when he was an immortal emperor. Of course, how powerful was it? He could only understand it in detail by looking at his personal information. As a result, Wang Mang joyfully said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." The next moment, personal information appeared in front of his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of a quasi-saint, holy son of 1,000 demons, type, void python, limit 700 meters. Realm, first heaven of holy emperor, legendary genius. Physique, HP 21,000, length 685 meters, width 33 meters, weight 50 million tons. Ordinary supernatural powers, Hand of the Void, Blade of the Void, Void Escape, One Step to Horizon, Shape-shifting. Top supernatural powers, Swallowing Spirit Technique, Perfect, 3 Lives Supreme Buddha, Great Mastery. Hongjun, 3 Corpses, None. Wrath of Gods and Demons, Perfect. Space, 1 Bottle of Oblivion Water, 1 Falling Saint Pill, 1 6 Flavor Emperor Pill, Rank 5 Abyss Summon Card. Equipment, Top World Multicolored Stone X1, Divine Martial Sword, Immortal Emperor Mask, Talent 70. Energy value, 10 billion/11 billion. After looking at his personal information, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. From the information data, the change was not big, but in fact, Wang Mang's strength was earth-shattering. At this moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Warm reminder, from now on, the host's evolution can be completed instantly. Ding. Detected that the host is present. The host is now given the following mission to choose from. Mission number 1. After your strength has increased greatly, how can you not kill venerable ones to liven things up? Please go to the west and kill Taoist one. Mission time. You can obtain it upon completion. Mission reward. 4 billion energy values. Celestial King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Mission 2. After your strength has increased greatly, how can you not kill venerable ones to liven things up? Please head to the west and slay the Torch Dragon of the Dragon Clan. Mission time. You can obtain it upon completion. Mission reward. 6 billion energy values. Celestial King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Third mission. After your strength has increased greatly, how can you not kill venerable ones to liven things up? Host, please head to the west and slay Emperor Ziwei. Mission time. You can obtain it upon completion. Mission reward. 6 billion energy values. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Fourth mission. How can you not dominate the Sacred Emperor continent after your strength has increased? Kill an expert on the Prodigy role and enter the Prodigy role of the Sacred Emperor continent. Mission time. You can obtain it upon completion. Mission reward. 5 billion energy points. Celestial King Grade Blind Box X1. Celestial King Grade Treasure Chest X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned. What the F***CK? Was he supposed to go on a journey to the west? The first 3 missions were all related to the journey to the west. They asked him to kill an enemy. However, the rewards were too little. Wang Mang was a little unhappy about that. Moreover, these 3 enemies were not easy to kill. The only thing he was confident about was killing one Taoist. Because other than one Taoist, whether it was Emperor Ziwei or the Torch Dragon, Wang Mang was not confident, because there was no doubt about Torch Dragon's strength. He was a late-stage sacred emperor who could kill 3 corpses. Emperor Ziwei's life was as valuable as Torch Dragon's. Needless to say, he had probably killed 3 corpses. Only when Daoist was certain that Wang Meng was still in the range of killing 2 corpses. Therefore, Wang Meng did not consider these 3 missions. On the other hand, the Sacred Emperor Continent mission had piqued Wang Meng's interest. The reward was even better than the first mission. This proved that it was not easy to get on the prodigy roll of the Sacred Emperor Continent. Wang Meng was even more curious when he thought of that. He also wanted to know what level the prodigies of the Sacred Emperor Continent were at now. With that thought, Wang Meng made up his mind. He could go on a journey to the west anytime. However, this was the prodigy roll of the Sacred Emperor Continent. Wang Meng was quite interested. The reward was not bad. Therefore, Wang Meng said in his heart, "System, I choose the 4th mission." Then, the system's voice rang out. "Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen a mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Meng's lips curled up. Then, Wang Meng got up and walked out of the cave. However, Wang Meng did not choose to return to the sacred land of 10,000 demons. Instead, Wang Meng put away the immortal emperor mask and headed to Wulong City, which was nearby. He wanted to gather more information in Wulong City before making a decision. That was because Wang Meng believed that it was impossible that no one from the Eastern Heaven Realm was on the prodigy roll of the Sacred Emperor Continent. 10 minutes later, Wang Meng arrived at Wulong City. Obviously, no one recognized Wang Meng. After all, Wang Meng was wearing the immortal emperor mask when he first entered Wulong City. Therefore, Wang Meng walked through the streets and arrived at a restaurant. That was because the best place to gather information was in a restaurant. "Waiter, give me a table of good food and wine. I want all the ingredients from Class 5 beasts." After entering the restaurant, Wang Meng found a table near the window and called out to the waiter. "Sure. Please wait a moment, sir." Hearing this, the waiter smiled respectfully. Then, Wang Meng nodded indifferently. However, Wang Meng soon realized that many people were secretly looking at him. Clearly, the rich and overbearing Wang Meng attracted the attention of many people. After all, not everyone could afford to eat a 5th-tier demonic beast. What did Class 5 represent? Class 5 represented immortal emperors. However, almost none of the people present had reached Class 5 immortal emperors. Therefore, it would be strange if Wang Meng's words did not attract any attention. Wang Meng was not surprised at all. He did not care at all. At the same time, Wang Meng also looked around the restaurant. He wanted to find someone who was well-informed to gather information. At that moment, a voice attracted Wang Meng's attention. Speaking of which, the battle between the Holy Son of 10,000 demons and the illusory figure almost turned Wulong City into ruins. That's because the combat strength of the Holy Son of 10,000 demons and the illusory figure had already reached the God Emperor realm. At the critical moment, it was the Wulong City Lord and the God Emperor experts of the Wulong Sacred Ground who stepped in to protect the city. Otherwise, Wulong City would have been turned into ruins because of the battle. For a moment, Wang Meng immediately looked over. He saw a middle-aged scholar who was at the peak of the immortal emperor realm, talking excitedly. Hearing this, many celestial sovereigns and celestial emperors in the restaurant began to question him. "Is it as exaggerated as you say?" "That's right. How could they destroy Wulong City in a single battle? What a joke. Are you trying to fool a child? The Holy Son of Wulong has the combat strength of a God Emperor?" "That's right. If the Holy Son of Wulong has really reached the level of a God Emperor, why didn't he go to the Heaven Domain where geniuses gather?" It was not hard to tell from the discussion that they did not agree with the scholar's words. In fact, they felt that the scholar was just flattering the Holy Son of Wulong. What a joke. The Holy Son of the Holy Son of 10,000 demons, sacred ground. How could he have the combat strength of a God Emperor? How could a genius reach the level of a God Emperor? Even a novel would not dare to write something like that. At that moment, a middle-aged, burly man even laughed disdainfully and said in a mocking tone, "That's right. What holy son of 10,000 demons? I think you're just exaggerating. If he dares to appear in front of me, I, Li Si, can suppress him with a flip of my hand. Chapter 701. Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. What a guy. Suppressing him with just a flip of his hand? Li Si was really courting death. Most importantly, he was speaking in front of Wang Mang. At the same time, the rest of the cultivators also felt that Li Si was being too arrogant after hearing his words. After all, he was the sacred son of the 10,000 demons' sacred land. He was still a sacred son. Besides, no matter how ignorant they were, a sacred son of a super first-rate sacred land would definitely possess the strength of a sacred emperor. Therefore, many cultivators in the restaurant stopped boasting after hearing Li Si's boasting. After all, it would be troublesome if they encountered the people of the 10,000 demons' sacred land. The storyteller smiled without saying a word. He had managed to survive until now because he would not offend anyone he could not afford to offend. At the same time, he also knew that trouble came from careless talk. At this moment, Wang Mang waved his hand with an indifferent expression and said, "Come here." All the cultivators in the restaurant turned to look at Wang Mang when they heard this. Similarly, the bulky Li Si looked at Wang Mang with a blank expression and asked, "Senior, are you talking about me?" In the sacred Emperor continent where the strong were respected, the strong were the seniors. It was a principle that had never changed. You will die in a day's time." Wang Mang nodded slightly and said with a sharp gaze. Following this, under everyone's astonished gaze, Li Si's body immediately stiffened. A white ray of light from Wang Mang's eyes immediately entered Li Si's body. However, Li Si did not notice this and looked at Wang Mang with a face full of astonishment. Seeing this, the people in the restaurant burst into an uproar. They all looked at Wang Mang in astonishment. "Senior, you must be joking. I, Li Si, am very tough." Li Saiken laughed and continued to drink and eat meat in his seat. It was obvious that he did not take Wang Mang's cold threats seriously. Furthermore, in Wulong City, fighting was not allowed outside of the arena. Therefore, he didn't think that Wang Mang would dare to kill him in public. Naturally, he didn't think much of it. If it wasn't for Wang Mang's strength being too strong and his aura being extremely terrifying, Li Si would have already cursed it out loud. The corners of Wang Mang's mouth curled up slightly. He nodded and waved at the scholar. "Scholar, come here." Hearing this, the middle-aged scholar stepped forward in a somewhat restrained manner and said respectfully, "Senior, have a seat. Tell me about the prodigy list. Do you know anything about it?" Hearing this, the middle-aged scholar heaved a sigh of relief. Subsequently, the middle-aged scholar grinned at Wang Mang and rubbed his hands. "I know. I'm not good at anything, but I know a lot of information." Wang Mang casually took out a rank 4 pill that he had obtained at some point and placed it on the table. He said indifferently, "Tell me about it." The middle-aged scholar's eyes lit up. He happily took the pill and said, "Senior, this so-called prodigy list has a long history. It means that there are always prodigies in the sacred Emperor continent. There are a total of 30 people on the prodigy list. In the entire sacred Emperor continent, the Heaven Realm has 25 people on the Heaven Realm's prodigy list. The East Heaven Realm has 2, the South Heaven Realm has 1, the West Heaven Realm has 1, and the North Heaven Realm has 1. The prodigy on the East Heaven Realm's prodigy list is called Dongfang Yun. He's the strongest prodigy in the history of the Dongfang clan in the East Heaven City of the East Heaven Realm. He has reached the legendary unparalleled level and is currently ranked 26th on the prodigy list. The other one is called Su Wuya. He's also the strongest prodigy in the history of the Su clan in the East Heaven City. He has also reached the unparalleled level and is currently ranked 28th on the prodigy list. These two are the strongest heaven's prides in the Eastern Heaven Realm. I don't know what level their strength has reached." The scholar paused and said, "As for the rest, the strongest prodigies in the South Heaven Realm, West Heaven Realm, and North Heaven Realm are not saints of the sacred grounds." Hearing this, Wang Mang came to a sudden realization. Then, he said indifferently, You mean, the two prodigies on the East Heaven Realms prodigy list have both reached the unparalleled level? Both of them are in the East Heaven Realm? The middle-aged scholar quickly nodded and said, "Yes, senior." Wang Mang nodded slowly. After the dishes were served, he casually ate a few mouthfuls before getting up and leaving. However, as soon as Wang Mang left, the cultivators in the restaurant let out a sigh of relief. But something strange happened all of a sudden. Li Si, who was drinking, suddenly stiffened and fell to the ground, losing all signs of life. Seeing this, the cultivators in the restaurant were in an uproar. They could not help but think of what Wang Mang had said earlier, and could not help but shiver. This was the terror of an expert. They did not even know how Wang Mang had killed him. As for the culprit, Wang Mang, he had already left Wulong City. Before leaving, Wang Mang bought a map of the East Heaven Realm so that he could get to East Heaven City faster. In the following days, Wang Mang began to climb mountains and cross several big and small cities before finally arriving at East Heaven City. At this moment, at the gate of East Heaven City, Wang Mang had no choice but to admit that Eastern Sky City was imposing. It was indeed the largest city in the East Heaven Realm. Just in terms of grandeur, it surpassed Wulong City and the 10,000 Demon City. After sizing it up for a while, Wang Mang walked in. However, as soon as he entered East Heaven City, Wang Mang discovered a strange scene. Many people were moving in the same direction. There were even many experts who were discussing this matter. Let's hurry over and take a look. Dongfang Yun and Su Wuya are fighting in the arena again. You mean Su Wuya? Where did this guy get the confidence to challenge Dongfang Yun again? Haha, you don't even know this? I heard that Su Wuya obtained a rank 5 supreme treasure, the Demon Crown, not long ago in the 10,000 Demons Cave near the 10,000 Demon City. I see. It doesn't matter if Su Wuya has the confidence to challenge Dongfang Yun. After hearing the discussions of the cultivators walking on the street, Wang Mang was even more surprised. He did not expect Su Wuya to be the one who obtained the Demon Crown. Of course, Wang Mang knew about the news of the Demon Crown before this news spread in the 10,000 Demon City. He had not become the holy son of the 10,000 demons' holy land yet. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's heart could not help but sink. Moreover, his confidence in defeating the two strongest geniuses in the East Heaven Realm had also decreased a lot. Right now, Wang Mang could only hope that these two fellows weren't too strong. Thinking of this, Wang Mang began to quicken his pace and followed the crowd to the arena in the East Heaven Realm. However, when Wang Mang arrived near the arena, he found that there was already a sea of people. After Wang Mang entered the arena, he saw two incomparably young figures in the arena, crisscrossing and fighting fiercely. Chapter 702. But when he discovered the strength of these two young figures, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel extremely bitter, because these two guys were 2F** king strong. The young figure in the white robe had the aura of a seventh heaven saint emperor. The young figure in the black robe had the aura of a seventh heaven saint emperor. The only difference between the two was that the young figure in the black robe wore a ghost mask on his face. As for the young and handsome figure in the white robe, he didn't wear anything on his face, and his expression remained calm. However, the strength of these two people was indeed so strong that it was almost abnormal. The combat strength of a seventh heaven saint emperor. This was equivalent to killing 3 corpses in the journey to the west. But what about Wang Mang? Wang Mang himself was a first heaven saint emperor. Including the immortal emperor mask, he could reach the third heaven saint emperor. Including the peerless geniuses, he could reach the 6th heaven saint emperor. But Wang Mang was still one level away. It could be said that these two guys were too strong, unless Wang Mang used the wrath of gods and demons. Otherwise, it would be too difficult for Wang Mang to defeat these two guys. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly felt helpless. But at this moment, Wang Mang suddenly heard a series of exclamations. Why is it him? Why is he here? This guy is little Rulai from the Divine Buddha Temple in the Western Heaven Realm? Why is little Relai here? What is this guy doing in the Eastern Heaven Realm? That's right. Although this guy is also on the Prodigy list, he's only ranked 30th. Don't say that. He's on the Prodigy list after all. We can't afford to offend him. So what? He's just at the bottom of the Prodigy list. For a moment, all kinds of discussions were heard. But many experts in the crowd who were here to join in the fun took the initiative to make way for little Relai. Wang Mang was also attracted by the discussion and couldn't help but look over. He saw a young monk in a white robe with a smile on his face. He put his palms together and walked over. The most eye-catching thing was that this little monk had red lips and white teeth. He had a peerlessly beautiful face that was simply stunning. At the very least, among all the handsome geniuses that Wang Mang had seen, there was no one more handsome than this little monk. However, after Wang Mang sensed it carefully, he realized that it was not a big deal. Wang Mang was surprised to find out. This little monk's strength was actually not that strong, at least compared to the two guys who were fighting. This little monk's strength was clearly weaker. Judging from the aura alone, Zhang Xian was shocked. He was only a 6th heavenly layer Saint Emperor. This immediately made Wang Mang's eyes light up. At the same time, Wang Mang couldn't help but think to himself, I can't deal with Dongfang Yun and Su Wuya. But you're just a little monk. I still have a way to deal with you. Obviously, this little monk from the Western Heaven Realm immediately made Wang Mang have an idea. After all, with the little monk's strength, in Wang Mang's opinion, he was far inferior to Dongfang Yun and Void Cliff. It could be said that he was the most suitable target to deal with. But just as Wang Mang had this thought, the bald and handsome little Relai suddenly turned his head to look at Wang Mang. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was stunned and looked at the little monk expressionlessly. In the next moment, the little monk walked toward Wang Mang with a smile on his face the entire time. Then, when he arrived in front of Wang Mang, the little monk stopped and looked at Wang Mang seriously for a while. This immediately made Wang Mang's hair stand on end. Could it be that this guy had telepathy? Benefactor, I can feel that you are full of malice towards me and want to bear the consequences of your actions. Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. Then, he laughed involuntarily and said, Little monk, are you mistaken? You know very well whether I'm mistaken or not. Little Relai smiled and said, But you'd better not provoke me. Otherwise, I'll send you to paradise early. After hearing the little monk's words, Wang Mang was stunned. This guy really had an incomparably handsome face. He used the softest attitude to say the most ruthless words. Unfortunately, this guy's blatant threat had no effect on Wang Mang. Furthermore, Wang Mang had wanted to make a move against this fellow from the start. If he defeated this guy, he should be able to become a prodigy on the prodigy roll. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's lips curled up. Are all the monks of the Western Heaven Realm as arrogant as you? Hearing this, little Relai of the Western Heaven Realm smiled and said, It seems that you are full of malice towards me. For a moment, the two of them were at loggerheads. In an instant, the crowd was filled with people. They all fell into a short silence. Everyone's gazes gathered. After a long silence, little Relai of the Western Heaven Realm suddenly chuckled. You got guts. If you're not afraid of death, fight me to the death. After saying that, little Relai of the Western Heaven Realm leaped and jumped onto the battlefield. Hearing this, Wang Mang's lips curled up and he jumped onto the battlefield without showing any signs of weakness. Seeing this, little Relai of the Western Heaven Realm sneered and said, Kid, do you agree to a battle to the death? Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded expressionlessly and said, I agree. As soon as he said that, a battle boundary instantly condensed on the battlefield. Seeing this, little Relai of the Western Heaven Realm was slightly taken aback, and then he couldn't help but laugh. You got guts. You're only a First Heaven Saint Emperor, and you dare to come on stage. I'll do as you wish. As soon as he said that, little Relai of the Western Heaven Realm swept toward Wang Mang without hesitation. Obviously, he wanted to use the aura of a Sixth Heaven Saint Emperor to directly suppress Wang Mang. Seeing this, Wang Mang didn't care at all. He only released the aura in his body without holding back. Therefore, little Rulai's terrifying aura had no effect on Wang Mang in an instant. It was basically impossible for a sixth Heaven Saint Emperor to use aura to affect a third Heaven Saint Emperor too much. However, when Wang Mang's aura was revealed, it surprised little Rulai of the Western Heaven, but he still smiled indifferently. A peerless genius? This kind of strength is still not enough. If that's all, you'll still have to die today. Hearing this, a mask appeared in Wang Mang's hand out of thin air, and he slowly put it on his face. At the same time, Wang Mang's aura instantly changed from a third Heaven Saint Emperor to a fifth Heaven Saint Emperor. Seeing this, little Rulai, who was originally smiling and relaxed, instantly froze. He looked at Wang Mang with a face full of astonishment, and his eyes widened in disbelief. Obviously, he didn't expect that in the blink of an eye. Wang Mang's strength changed from a first Heaven Saint Emperor to a fifth Heaven Saint Emperor. At the same time, the audience in the entire arena clearly recognized the immortal Emperor mask. After a moment of silence, the entire arena was in an uproar, and the audience was in an uproar. Chapter 703. In an instant, a commotion broke out in the crowded wrestling ring. All sorts of discussions could be heard as all the cultivators in the arena began to whisper to each other. Is that the celestial emperor's mask? He's the holy son of 10,000 demons. Damn, this guy is the holy son of 10,000 demons? He's the holy son of 10,000 demons whose name has spread across the entire Sacred Emperor continent. I heard that he has the means to forcefully become a supreme genius. I wonder if it's true. Why is he in the East Heaven City? Didn't he return to the city of 10,000 demons? I don't know. Anyway, the holy son of 10,000 demons' fame has spread to the heaven realm. It's not just the heaven realm. I heard that many geniuses in the heaven realm are interested in him. Supreme genius? I think it's too exaggerated. However, he must be quite capable to be so famous. No matter what, the holy son of 10,000 demons is a genius in the East Heaven realm. I still support him. I hope he can defeat little Rulai from the West Heaven realm. That's right. If he can defeat little Rulai from the West Heaven realm, Wang Mang's East Heaven realm will have 3 powerhouses on the genius roll. For a moment, many cultivators in the arena were talking among themselves as they fixed their eyes on the battlefield. At the same time, Wang Mang looked at little Rulai from the West Heaven realm calmly and said softly, "What do you think? Am I strong enough?" Little Rulai from the West Heaven realm calmed down when he heard that. He looked at Wang Mang with an uncertain expression and said slowly, "You're the holy son of 10,000 demons. You're actually the holy son of all demons? This is beyond my expectations. However, do you think I'm afraid of you just because of your title? Moreover, I don't believe that you can really raise your combat strength to the supreme genius level. Even if you can, you'll have to pay a terrible price. So, you're still not strong enough." Wang Mang nodded calmly when he heard that. Then, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, upgrade me to a peerless genius." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Successfully deducted 30 talent points. Beginning upgrade. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully promoted to a peerless genius. Just as he finished speaking, a terrifying power was emitted from Wang Mang's body. This was the aura of a peerless genius. At the same time, Wang Mang's battle prowess rose from the 5th heavenly layer to the 6th heavenly layer. This rapid change immediately made the Western Heaven Realm's little Rulai's face darken. Obviously, little Rulai of the Western Heaven Realm was still very shocked. He didn't expect that Wang Mang's cultivation would suddenly skyrocket and reach the level of a peerless genius. If Wang Mang was also an unparalleled genius, then he would definitely be defeated by Wang Mang. Just as his mind was filled with thoughts, Wang Mang said calmly, "What about now? Is it enough?" After a long silence, little Rulai of the Western Heaven Realm said with an ugly expression, Enough. Come on, let's fight. No matter why you are hostile to me, defeat me and I can implement any of your requests. Wang Mang nodded indifferently and then attacked without hesitation. As Wang Mang formed hand seals, an enormous palm that blotted out the sky condensed into form. Buddhist country in a palm. The next moment, the huge palm that covered the sky grabbed towards little Rulai of the Western Heaven Realm. Seeing this, little Rulai sneered. You're the first person who dares to use a divine ability related to Buddhism in front of me. Just as he finished speaking, little Rulai formed a seal with both hands and shouted angrily, Tinsong Tathagata Buddha. As he uttered the furious roar, the terrifying force around him instantly transformed into a golden ancient Buddha. Moreover, it stretched out a huge palm towards Wang Mang's Buddhist country in a palm. Rumble. The two huge palms collided and exploded with an earth-shattering sound. The remaining power of the terrifying magic power swept over the barrier with terrifying power. But with just this attack, the two of them were unable to determine who was superior. At this moment, little Rulai put his palms together and shouted angrily with a solemn expression, Kill! Just as he finished speaking, this Chinsong Tathagata Buddha slapped towards Wang Mang, and the huge palm covered the sky. Seeing this, Wang Mang smiled indifferently and formed a seal. 10,000 Buddhas sitting in ancient times. A majestic ancient Buddha that was covered in black gas and overflowing with murderous intent instantly appeared behind Wang Mang. In comparison, the top-notch great divine ability that little Rulai executed and Wang Mang's complete divine ability were two extremes. The Buddha executed by Wang Mang's divine ability overflowed with murderous intent and surged with devil chi. It was like a devil Buddha. The Buddha executed by little Rulai's divine ability was dignified and dignified, shining with Buddha light. As for why this was mainly dependent on the person who executed the divine ability. In the next instant, the huge palm of the majestic golden Buddha had already arrived. Similarly, the Buddha image that was surging with devil chi became solid under the support of Wang Mang's terrifying and vast magic power. Bang! A loud sound rang out. The palm of the golden Buddha image landed on Wang Mang's Buddha image, but it didn't affect it at all. At the same time, Wang Mang sneered and executed 10,000 Buddhas take lives. 3,000 Buddha images condensed to form a strange phenomenon that covered the sky and overflowed with devil chi. This scene simply stunned little Rulai. This was because little Rulai also didn't expect it. Wang Mang's divine arts were actually all Buddha divine arts. When the 3,000 Buddha images attacked, little Rulai's expression changed drastically, and he immediately formed a seal to shout angrily, Buddha light illuminates all. Just as he said that, golden light shone from little Rulai's body, and he allowed the 3,000 Buddha images to attack him without moving. However, Wang Mang discovered that little Rulai's expression was becoming more and more grave. Under the attacks of the 3,000 Buddha images, his brows were tightly knitted. It was obvious that Wang Mang's divine arts had already caused a huge impact on him. However, just as little Rulai was thinking about how to counterattack and suppress Wang Mang, but Wang Mang laughed coldly and directly executed the origin-swallowing, godly-devouring art. Wang Mang's body seemed to be frozen, and a transparent figure burst out. In just an instant, it tunneled into little Rulai's consciousness and spirit platform. After seeing Wang Mang's primordial spirit in the consciousness and spirit platform, little Rulai's primordial spirit was instantly shocked and furious. Are you crazy? Do you want to fight to the death with me? Hearing that, Wang Mang sneered and instantly pounced on this fellow's primordial spirit. In the next instant, little Rulai couldn't help but let out a painful and mournful cry. Not only that, in just a moment, little Rulai couldn't help but beg for mercy. Fellow Taoist, let me go. If you kill me, the three great Buddhas of Buddhism won't let you off. Moreover, the three great Buddhas of the God-Emperor realm of Buddhism in the Western Heaven realm have all placed a divine restriction on me. If I die, they will sense it immediately and quickly kill their way over, because I am one of the indispensable chess pieces in their major plan. Hearing that, Wang Mang, who was originally overflowing with killing intent, instantly fell into hesitation. If what this fellow said was true, offending three great God Emperor strong practitioners in one go, this wasn't the outcome that Wang Mang wanted. However, Wang Mang wasn't satisfied if he didn't kill this fellow, because this fellow was also a peerless genius. If he could kill him, he would be able to get 10 points of talent value. After hesitating for a moment, Wang Mang steeled his heart and made a decision, not to mention whether what this fellow said was true or false. However, Wang Mang still didn't want to give up on 10 points of talent value. With that thought, Wang Mang no longer hesitated and began to crazily bite and devour little Rulai's primordial spirit. Under the pain, little Rulai's primordial spirit couldn't help but let out a painful and resentful roar. The three great Buddhas won't let you off. You will be buried with me sooner or later. Wang Mang turned a deaf ear to this and continued to crazily devour the other party's primordial spirit. Accompanied by a mournful scream, it lasted for a long time before it completely disappeared. Then, when Wang Mang's primordial spirit returned to his body, Wang Mang saw little Rulai, who had lost his primordial spirit, fall to the ground with a bang. At the same time, a gold medal on little Rulai's body flew towards him. After receiving the gold medal and taking a look, Wang Mang was instantly stunned. On the front of the gold medal were three big words: Prodigy List. On the back of the gold medal were written, 29th Prodigy. Chapter 704. At the same time, seeing that Wang Mang had killed little Rulai from the Western Heaven realm with lightning speed, all the people in the arena who wanted to join the fun were once again in an uproar. F***CK. Isn't this too exaggerated? Yeah, I can feel the aura of the holy son of myriad demons just now. He's a peerless genius. But it's not that easy to kill a peerless genius, right? Yeah, he's also a peerless genius of the same realm. But he was instantly killed? Is this the strength of the holy son of myriad demons? As expected, he lives up to his reputation. Isn't that obvious? After all, he's so famous. He must have some ability. Awesome. People from the Western Heaven realm dare to come to our Eastern Heaven realm. They're courting death. I heard that little Rulai from the Western Heaven realm was here to challenge the two strongest geniuses from our Eastern Heaven realm. Haha, in the end, he died in the Eastern Heaven realm. In the future, our Eastern Heaven realm will have three geniuses on the genius roll. For a moment, many of the powerhouses in the gladiator arena were discussing excitedly. Obviously, no one cared about the life and death of little Rulai from the Western Heaven realm. The main reason was that little Rulai from the Western Heaven realm was an outsider. However, there was a very common problem in the Sacred Emperor continent. That was local discrimination. People from the Middle Heaven realm looked down on people from the other four realms. Of course, the Eastern Heaven realm looked down on people from the Middle Heaven realm and the Eastern Heaven realm. Therefore, the cultivators from the Eastern Heaven realm faced the people from the Western Heaven realm. Basically, they had a strong sense of superiority. It was the same for the Middle Heaven realm. Apart from the people from the Middle Heaven realm, they basically looked down on the people of the entire Sacred Emperor continent. This sense of superiority was innate and had already formed a mindset. This was because most of the strongest experts in the Sacred Emperor continent had always been born in the Middle Heaven realm. In comparison, the Eastern Heaven realm, Southern Heaven realm, Western Heaven realm, and Northern Heaven realm had never produced a top expert. In addition, the 5 realms of the Sacred Emperor continent were not very harmonious. On the contrary, there were more or less conflicts between them over time. This was a very normal phenomenon. After all, where there were people, there would be conflicts. This sentence came from Wuxia, but it was applicable to any place. At the same time, while countless people in the gladiator arena were stunned, In Wang Mang's mind, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully killed a peerless genius, Little Rulai. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 10 points of talent. Ding. Congratulations, host. Mission completed. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 5 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained Celestial King Treasure Chest X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was elated once again. The reward for this mission was too awesome. Not only was it very generous, but the rewards were also very plentiful. Moreover, the difficulty of this mission was much easier than he had imagined. Of course, Wang Mang knew that this was actually because he was lucky enough to meet Little Rulai from the Western Heaven Realm. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Wang Mang to defeat Dongfang Yun of the Eastern Heaven Realm or Su Wuya. Don't forget, the strength of these two fellows had reached the 7th heaven of the Saint Emperor Realm. If Wang Mang wanted to defeat them, he would have to use the wrath of the gods and demons. If that was the case, the price he would have to pay would be too great. Moreover, Wang Mang had just broken through to the 1st heaven of the Saint Emperor Realm. If Wang Mang used the wrath of the gods and demons, his realm would fall back to the 9th heaven of the Immortal Emperor Realm. Then how much would Wang Mang have to pay to recover? To break through from the 9th heaven of the Immortal Emperor Realm to the 1st heaven of the Saint Emperor Realm, he would need 10 billion energy points. At that time, Wang Mang would really use the wrath of the gods and demons. Even if he completed the mission, it would be a huge loss. But just as Wang Mang was feeling smug, suddenly, rumble! A series of earth-shattering muffled sounds came from the sky. After hearing this sound, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then his expression changed drastically. He could feel that there were Emperor God-level experts hidden in the space. This was because Wang Mang had used the Supreme Experience card before. So naturally, he had experienced the fighting power of an Emperor God-level expert. The fighting power of an Emperor God-level expert was too terrifying. Their skills were unfathomable, and their methods could be said to be omnipotent. As expected, in the next moment, Wang Mang was instantly locked onto by several terrifying auras. After the terrifying auras locked onto him, Wang Mang suddenly felt that the sky was falling down. In the next moment, Wang Mang could not withstand the pressure, and his legs began to tremble. This was because the terrifying auras were too powerful, and they all came from Emperor God-level experts. Moreover, under the locking of the auras, Wang Mang did not even have the chance to take out the World Teleportation Stone. This was because it was too difficult for him to even raise his hand. Damn it, seems like what Little Rue from the Western Heaven Realm said was true. Otherwise, why would there be Emperor God-level experts wanting to cross over to this realm? Just as Wang Mang's face was extremely ugly, and he was hesitating whether to use the wrath of the god and demon, everyone in the entire arena felt the terrifying pressure, and under the pressure, they all knelt on the ground. At a glance, there was a sea of people. Even in East Sky City, many people were forced to kneel on the ground by the terrifying aura. This was an Emperor God-level expert. Just the pressure alone was enough to make people kneel on the ground, and they did not even have the chance to resist. However, this also caused many people in the arena, and even many people in East Sky City, to start cursing. Damn it! Which God Emperor expert is it that could release such a terrifying aura? This is too much. Does an Emperor God-level expert want us to kneel just because we want to? How dare he suppress us with his aura? Where's the East Sky City Lord? Why aren't you coming out? Are you going to let an Emperor God-level expert be so arrogant? No matter which Emperor God-level expert it is, how dare he trample on our dignity and suppress us with his aura? This is too much. In an instant, all kinds of curses were heard. Many people looked at the distorted sky above their heads with dissatisfaction. Moreover, since he had crossed over to this realm, It proved that this Emperor God level expert was not an expert from the East Sky realm. As expected, a huge space crack appeared in the sky. In the next moment, a huge hand that covered the sky reached out from the space crack and grabbed at Wang Mang. Seeing this, Wang Mang felt his scalp go numb. Without hesitation, he prepared to use the wrath of the god and demon. However, at this critical moment, Yi Zichen's eyes widened. Another huge hand suddenly appeared and collided with the huge hand in the space crack. At the same time, a terrifying aftershock rippled out instantly. The terrifying aftershock swept out for tens of thousands of miles, causing the entire world to change color. Then, a cold and majestic voice resounded throughout the world. Tianzong Buddha, Tathagata Buddha, Infernal Buddha, you have crossed over. This is the East Sky realm. Chapter 705. His voice was like thunder. It reverberated between heaven and earth. At the same time, Wang Mang was also swept away by the terrifying shockwave and sent flying. Wang Mang also took the opportunity to quickly retreat, distancing himself from the arena. After retreating, Wang Mang finally saw the person who had helped him. It was a dignified and skinny old man in a white robe. His face was cold and his aura was terrifying. After seeing the old man, many people who had retreated from the arena to join in the fun exclaimed, "The city master has appeared." Yes, he has finally appeared. This Emperor God expert from the outside world is too arrogant. He dares to use his aura to force us to kneel. I don't care who he is. If I know his name, I will chop him up and feed him to the dogs. Brother, are you King bragging? You want to chop up an Emperor God expert? Why don't you show me? All right, I will curse him to death and greet his entire family. That should do, right? Just as everyone was discussing, a cold voice came from the space crack. Dong Feng Pa, are you sure you want to stop us? We have not completely entered the Eastern Heaven realm. We are not breaking the rules. Or we can leave if you hand over the kid who killed little Rulai of the Buddhist sect to us. After hearing that, Wang Mang's expression changed drastically. He was already holding the teleportation stone in his hand. If the situation was not right, he could escape with a thought. Even so, Wang Mang was still very angry. Because for so long, Wang Mang thought that his strength was enough to allow him to sit back and relax, even in the sacred Emperor continent. But now, Wang Mang knew that he was too naive. There were still a bunch of Emperor God experts above him who ruled the sacred Emperor continent. Moreover, the feeling of his life being controlled by others made Wang Mang very unhappy. Buddhist sect of the Western Heaven realm? I will remember you. Wait until I grow stronger. I will send all of you to the Western Heaven to meet the true gods. Wang Mang cursed in his heart. These God Emperor level experts were really shameless. They had actually attacked a junior Saint Emperor like him. To be honest, Wang Mang would never do such a thing. It broke his understanding of shamelessness. Therefore, Wang Mang did not hesitate to bear a grudge against the Buddhists of the Western Heaven realm. At the same time, after Dong Feng Pa heard the request of the three Buddhist sect God Emperors, he fell into a dilemma. He glanced at Wang Mang indifferently and did not immediately agree or reject. He wanted to see just how important Wang Mang was to the 10,000 Devils Holy Land. If the Holy Land of 10,000 Devils did not attach enough importance to Wang Mang, he couldn't take the initiative to help Wang Mang. At that time, he would choose not to care about the matter. Of course, that was if the experts of the 10,000 Demons Holy Land paid enough attention to Wang Mang. At this moment, the old fogies of the 10,000 Demons Holy Land should have sensed the commotion here by now. At that time, the three old fogies of the 10,000 Demons Holy Land would naturally rush over to deal with the problem. Because anything that happened in the Eastern Heaven realm could not be hidden from the God Emperor level experts. It could even be said that anything that happened in the Sacred Emperor continent. Basically, nothing could be hidden from the God Emperor level experts. For example, once anything happened in the Eastern Heaven realm, the God Emperor level experts will be able to sense it immediately. Therefore, Wang Mang did not know what he was doing at all. Basically, he could not fool the God-Emperor level experts in the Eastern Heaven Realm. Wang Mang naturally hadn't thought of this relationship at all. The reason why he did not run away now was to stay and observe the situation. Since the teleportation stone was already in his hands, he could run away with a thought. Even if it was a God-Emperor level expert, Wang Mang was confident that he could escape easily. Unless the 3 God-Emperor level experts went crazy and chased him to the chaotic world. Otherwise, they could forget about killing him. This was also one of Wang Mang's trump cards. At this moment, a few angry roars resounded from afar. 3 dogs of Buddhism. Do you really think the all-demon sanctuary is afraid of you? How arrogant. Do you really think there's no one in the all-demon sanctuary? The Buddhists of the Western Heaven Realm are as shameless as ever. A God-Emperor level existence dares to attack a junior? Just as he finished speaking, in just a breath's time, Wang Mang saw 3 black-robed figures appear. Among the 3 figures, one of them was wearing a blood-red robe, while the other 2 were wearing black robes. These 3 figures, without exception, were all old men. Their auras were also extremely powerful. At the same time, the appearance of the 3 old ancestors of the all-demon sanctuary made Dong Fengpa heave a sigh of relief. This way, the hatred and conflict between the 3 great Buddhas of Buddhism would automatically be transferred to the all-demon sanctuary. Similarly, after seeing the 3 figures, Wang Mang could not help but heave a sigh of relief. This was because he could basically confirm it from the tone of the other party's voice and the unique symbol and robe of the all-demon sanctuary that they were wearing. The 3 old men in front of him were the 3 old ancestors of the all-demon sanctuary. This was because there was a circular dragon phoenix black symbol on their robes. This dragon and phoenix black symbol was the symbol of the all-demons' holy land. Kid, you're not bad. At this time, a black-robed old man looked at Wang Mang and nodded with a smile. Similarly, the other 2 old ancestors of the all-demon sanctuary nodded slightly at Wang Mang and said, "Let's go back. Let's go back. Leave the rest to us old fellows." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Hearing the words of the 3 old ancestors of the all-demon sanctuary, Wang Mang immediately straightened his back. This meant that the 3 old ancestors of the all-demon sanctuary were all willing to stand up for him. Judging from the appearance of the 3 old ancestors this time, the 3 old ancestors would fully support him in the future. To put it bluntly, he, Wang Mang, would have a backer in the future. Moreover, he would have the support of the 3 great emperor gods. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's gloomy mood instantly disappeared. On the contrary, he was extremely excited. However, what Wang Mang did not know was, if he had not shown enough value and potential, the 3 old ancestors would definitely not have supported him without hesitation. After all, he had offended the 3 great emperor gods of the Western Heaven Realm Buddhism. If they felt that Wang Mang's potential was not worth it, they would have given up. However, Wang Mang's potential was very high for him to break through to the God-Emperor realm in the future. This was because Wang Mang was already a peerless genius. In fact, being a peerless genius meant that he was qualified to break through to the God-Emperor realm. Moreover, Wang Mang was still a peerless genius. There was no doubt about his potential. He had a high chance of breaking through to the God-Emperor realm in the future. On top of that, Wang Mang had made the sacred land of 10,000 demons famous in the sacred Emperor continent. These were all honors. Although they were not specific benefits, they still made Wang Mang more important in their hearts. Of course, what made them think highly of Wang Mang the most was that Wang Mang had ascended the prodigy role, proving his aptitude and potential. Because of this, the 3 old ancestors of the all-demons sanctuary agreed to protect Wang Mang. Even the bloodthirsty patriarch, who had a problem with Wang Mang, agreed to protect Wang Mang. This also proved that they were very satisfied with Wang Mang's recent performance. Chapter 706. It was the combination of these many elements. They had no choice but to protect Wang Mang. After all, Wang Mang was a holy son with such great potential and aptitude. Even among the previous holy sons of 10,000 demons, he was an existence that could be counted on one hand. Of course, such a talent had to be protected. At that time, the Holy Land of 10,000 demons would have another divine emperor. What did a divine emperor represent? It represented a foundation, because it was too difficult for a divine emperor realm expert to appear. Otherwise, the Holy Land of 10,000 demons would not just be a first-rate force. If it reached 5 divine emperors, it would become a top Holy Land. But did a top Holy Land have one? At least not in the Eastern Heaven Realm. Only the Heaven Realm of the top Holy Land had one, because the Heaven Realm was the place where the strong gathered. It was also the place where countless geniuses gathered to compete. Therefore, a divine emperor expert was too important. To any force, it was a powerful foundation. Of course, Wang Mang naturally didn't know about these things. But Wang Mang knew that he had a background and a backer now. Therefore, in the face of the 3 ancestors' nod of approval, Wang Mang hurriedly said respectfully, "I respect the decree of the 3 ancestors." After saying that, Wang Mang immediately left Eastern Heaven City. But just as Wang Mang left Eastern Heaven City, he heard a loud roar coming from the space of Eastern Heaven City. This caused Wang Mang to involuntarily turn around. Then Wang Mang saw it. The 3 ancestors of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons rushed into the spatial rift. In fact, even the space collapsed. Obviously, the 3 ancestors had already started fighting with the 3 Buddhas of the Western Heaven. Of course, the following battle had nothing to do with Wang Mang. Therefore, Wang Mang, who was rushing back to the Holy Land of 10,000 demons, was in a good mood. But at this moment, 2 voices suddenly sounded. "Fellow Holy Son of 10,000 demons, wait. Fellow Taoist, please stop for a moment." These 2 sudden voices gave Wang Mang a fright. He hurriedly looked to the side and saw 2 familiar figures coming over together. These 2 people were none other than them. It was the Dongfang family, Dongfang Yin. There was also the Su family and the Void Cliff. Both of them were experts on the prodigy list. Why are these 2 looking for me? For a moment, Wang Mang couldn't figure out the purpose of their visit. Therefore, Wang Mang pretended to be puzzled and cupped his hands. "Greetings, fellow Taoists. What business do you have with me?" Dongfang Yin and Su Weiyao looked at each other, then turned to Wang Mang. "Holy son of myriad demons, are you going to the Heaven Realm with me for the ranking battle of the prodigy list?" Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. His face was filled with confusion. What was the meaning of this so-called prodigy ranking battle? At this time, Dongfang Yin clearly saw Wang Mang's doubts and explained with a smile. The so-called prodigy role ranking battle is a re-ranking of the rankings. Actually, every now and then, there will be a ranking battle on the prodigy role, because there are many prodigies in the Sacred Emperor continent to ensure the prodigy list quality. All the experts on the prodigy list have to go to the Heaven Realm every once in a while to participate in the prodigy ranking battle. Also, they have to accept challenges from the prodigies of the Sacred Emperor continent in order to maintain their ranking on the prodigy list. If they lose, their ranking will be replaced by the challenger. In addition, the prodigies on the prodigy list can also challenge each other. This is to ensure that the 30 prodigies on the prodigy list will always be the strongest prodigies of the Sacred Emperor continent. Of course, if the prodigies on the prodigy list don't want to participate, then the prodigy token on them will automatically fly away or become invalid. After hearing Dongfang Yun's explanation, only then did Wang Mang come to a realization. At the same time, Wang Mang was very frustrated. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? He just happened to run into it. The prodigy ranking battle was about to begin. If he couldn't withstand the challenges from the prodigies of the Sacred Emperor continent, his hot ranking on the prodigy list would probably disappear without a trace. Thinking of this, Wang Mang didn't know what to say. However, after thinking about it carefully, Wang Mang felt that it made sense. Otherwise, why would these 2 guys have nothing better to do than to fight each other? Wang Mang even suspected that the hidden dragon saint was also interested in the prodigy ranking battle. Otherwise, why would he invite the prodigies to gather before the prodigy ranking battle? Was he sure he wasn't trying to build momentum for himself? Because of the hidden dragon saint, there was no doubt about his strength. Moreover, he had reached the level of an unparalleled prodigy. He would probably participate in the prodigy ranking battle too, right? Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly hesitated. Should he participate or not? To be honest, Wang Mang felt that the prodigy token wouldn't be of much use to Wang Mang. It was just an honor that everyone knew about and made a name for himself. However, Wang Mang was unwilling to lose the prodigy token after just getting it. The problem was that even if he participated, he might not be able to defend his prodigy token. That was because the prodigy ranking battle meant that the prodigies on the prodigy list would have to face a huge reshuffle. Moreover, he would have to face the challenges of countless prodigies from the entire sacred emperor continent. Just as Wang Mang was feeling extremely conflicted, the system's voice sounded again. Ding. Detected host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission number 1. Choose to retreat and ignore the prodigy ranking battle. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 100 million energy points. Diamond treasure, chest, X1. Mission number 2. Participate in the prodigy ranking battle and defend your ranking. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 3 billion energy points. Immortal King Treasure Chest X1. Immortal King Blind Box X1. Talent points 10. Mission number 3. Participate in the Prodigy ranking battle and obtain a place in the top 20. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 15 billion energy points. Immortal King Treasure Chest X2. Immortal King Blind Box X2. Talent points 30. Mission number 4. Participate in the Prodigy ranking battle and obtain a place in the top 10. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 30 billion energy points. Immortal King Blind Box X2. Immortal King Treasure Chest X2. Talent points 100. However, after listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang was completely stunned. He even thought that he had heard wrongly. What the F***CK? What was the system trying to do? Was it encouraging him to participate in the Prodigy ranking battle? Moreover, it was encouraging him to obtain a high ranking. Also, the rewards were too generous, especially the 4th mission. 50 billion energy points? 100 points of talent points. In addition, 2 Immortal King treasure chests and 2 blind boxes. What the F***CK? This reward? Wasn't this too much? Chapter 707. However, Wang Mang soon felt that something was wrong. The more generous the reward, the more difficult the mission was. For example, the 4th mission was to become one of the top 10 geniuses. In the end, he was rewarded with 30 billion energy points, 2 Immortal King-level blind boxes and treasure chests, and 100 talent points. Judging from the rewards, Wang Mang even suspected that the top 10 geniuses on the genius list might not have reached the Emperor God level. One had to know that from the difficulty of the previous missions, the reward for killing an existence with 3 corpses was not so generous. Therefore, Wang Mang felt that the top 10 geniuses on the genius list were very likely to have reached the Emperor God level. In addition, if his guess was correct, then the 4th mission could be ruled out, because the price to pay to get into the top 10 was too great. As for the 3rd mission, to get into the top 20, the reward was also very generous. It was almost half of the 4th mission, and he could level up after completing it. Therefore, Wang Mang guessed that the mission to become one of the top 20 geniuses would be very difficult. Therefore, Wang Mang did not want to accept the 3rd mission, or did not consider it. On the contrary, the 2nd mission was the one Wang Mang wanted to choose the most. He did not want to get a higher ranking, but he wanted to be able to keep his ranking and accept the reward. With this thought, Wang Mang made a choice in his heart. Then, he said in his heart, "System, I choose the second mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. "Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang heaved a sigh of relief. Then, Wang Mang felt a little helpless. Now, he did not need to return to the Holy Land of all demons. He could follow Dongfang Yun and Su Wuya to the Heaven Realm. At this time, Dongfang Yun also said with a smile, "How about it? Do you want to go together?" Hearing this, Su Wuya also looked at Wang Mang. Wang Mang nodded and said, "Since the two of you have invited me, let's go to the Heaven Realm together. The prodigy token hasn't even warmed up yet. You can't just give up, right?" Hearing Wang Mang's somewhat helpless tone, Dongfang Yun immediately smiled and said, "You obtained the prodigy token effortlessly. It was much easier than us obtaining the prodigy token back then. Now, all I need to do is participate in the prodigy ranking battle and keep my prodigy token." At this point, Dongfang Yun's tone was somewhat envious. This was because it was indeed much easier for Wang Mang to obtain the chosen one token than it was for them. Hearing that, Wang Mang immediately laughed brilliantly. He did not deny this matter. However, although Wang Mang easily obtained the Tianjiao token, he almost died. After all, Wang Mang had even angered the three god emperors of the Western Heaven Realm's Buddhist sect. If the three old ancestors of the 10,000 demons' Holy Land hadn't appeared in time, Wang Mang was probably going to have to run away again. At this moment, Su Wuya spoke softly. "Let's go. I hope we don't run into any prodigy hunters. It will be safer for the three of us to travel together." Hearing Su Wuya's words, Wang Mang was stunned at first. This was because he could tell that there was something unusual in Su Wuya's words. Then, Wang Mang could not help but ask in confusion, "Gentlemen, what are these so-called prodigy hunters?" Dongfang Yun was slightly stunned. Then he explained with a solemn expression, "It's normal that you don't know. These so-called prodigy hunters, they're also a group of prodigies, but their goal is to hunt other prodigies. The prodigy hunters are a group of prodigies who hunt prodigies. They're also extremely powerful prodigies, but their goal is always to hunt prodigies. It can be said that many heaven's favorites have been killed by them, and these prodigy hunters are no weaker than the experts on the prodigy ranking. Moreover, their goal is to hunt prodigies. There is no reason for them to do so." After hearing Dongfang Yun's words, Wang Mang immediately narrowed his eyes. He suspected that these prodigy hunters must have known that prodigies could hunt each other to advance. Otherwise, why would these prodigy hunters exist just to hunt prodigies? Therefore, Wang Mang secretly made a mental note of these prodigy hunters. These people's goal was indeed the same as Wang Mang's. Moreover, this group of people was definitely organized and had a leader. Otherwise, the news that prodigies could hunt each other to advance would have spread throughout the sacred Emperor continent. However, this group of prodigy hunters had never announced this piece of news. They were simply acting out the story of making a fortune in silence. After all, Wang Mang also wanted to hunt prodigies if he had the chance. Geniuses represented the value of talent. Hunting prodigies would make one more powerful. Who wouldn't want to hunt prodigies if they knew about this? After nodding slightly, Wang Mang said softly, "Let's go. Shall we set off now?" Hearing this, Dongfang Yun and Su Wuya looked at each other and nodded. "Let's go then." Seeing that, Wang Mang nodded with an indifferent expression. Then, he set off with the two of them. The three of them traveled together. In the next few days, they crossed several cities and finally arrived at the Million Mountain Range. That was because the best and fastest way to enter the Heaven Realm was to enter the Million Mountain Range. The Million Mountain Range was connected to the sacred Emperor continent and spanned across 5 great realms.